Radio to 97646.
The can't-miss music event of the year is coming to the CW.
The 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Featuring once-in-a-lifetime performances from the biggest superstars in all of music.
Ladies and gentlemen,
What's up, Vegas?
make some noise!
I don't know if y'all ready for this one.
All hosted by Ryan Seacrest from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
Don't miss our 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Tonight and tomorrow night at 8 on the CW.
Have you ever felt depressed about work, only to have your dad be like, why are you so down? So you told him you hate your job, and he said, well, you better talk yourself out of it. And then you thought, I love to talk. I could host a podcast. And then you went to Spreaker from iHeart and started a podcast and got good at it, then monetized it, then quit your boring job, then told your dad, thanks for the advice. And he was like, well, that's not what I meant, and I don't understand what a podcast is, but you seem happy, so that's great, kiddo. You ever do that? Well, you could. At Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker. Ask your dad. You actually don't.
Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning, the most trusted and reviewed cleaning company in town. Take advantage of their fall sale going on now. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129 when you mention ESPN Asheville. Easily schedule your cleaning online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
Make every meal a special occasion with a handcrafted table from the Battle Axe Furniture Company. Made from solid 2-inch thick red oak timbers, their tables last for generations. It's urban industrial meets farmhouse. Choose from 4 lengths and 4 standard styles of bases. Or if you can dream it, they can build it at their full custom millworking shop. The Battle Axe Furniture Company. Veteran owned and family run in Arden, North Carolina, just off I-26. Visit battleaxecompany.com to learn more. That's battleaxecompany.com.
I'm Lindsay McCormick.
And I'm Rashad Jennings, and we're the co-hosts of The Bag, a brand new podcast from Sports Illustrated and iHeartRadio.
If it involves sports and money, we're going to talk about it. From inside scoops on the latest contracts to inspiring stories of athletes making moves in other industries to the business of gaming, fantasy sports, and sports betting.
Some of today's athletes are savvy entrepreneurs and leaders shaping the future of how the business of sports gets done.
What are you waiting for? Get The Bag.
Available on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get podcasts.
If you are a victim of crime and your offender is currently serving time in the adult correction system, NC Savin is a free confidential service to help you find peace of mind by learning your rights and receiving updates on your offender status. NC Savin educates victims and connects you to meaningful victim assistance resources. Register today at ncsavin.org. That's NCSAVAN.org. This message is from the North Carolina Department of Public Safety.
Find a job that fits your life at the WNC Career Expo on October 11th at the WNC Agricultural Center. Employers in Western North Carolina are looking for qualified candidates like you. Local companies will be hiring for jobs with flexible schedules and good pay. Find your future at the WNC Career Expo on Tuesday, October 11th from 11 to 4 at the WNC Ag Center, 761 Boylston Highway in Fletcher. Learn more at WNCCareerExpo.com. Presented by the Mountain Area Workforce Board and the Asheville Area Chamber of Commerce.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
Hello there. I'm Mark Robinson. Happy baseball postseason to you. And things are off to a good start in Cleveland for the Guardians.
Center field deep. Siri back to the wall, and it is gone. What an answer. Jose Ramirez, a 2-run homer to put the Guardians in the lead. 2-1 here in the 6th inning.
And that is the final. The call from Dave O'Brien here on ESPN Radio as Cleveland takes Game 1. Meanwhile, nationally, Game 1 in St. Louis, Cardinals and Phillies heading to the 4th inning now, scoreless, and that one is on ABC and, of course, the ESPN app. Coming up 4 Eastern on ESPN and here on ESPN Radio. By the way, the Cardinals and Phillies are on the ESPN Radio as well.
in the heart of Beer City, USA. Two men, one journey, to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It is a football Friday, and it is the Sportsocracy live in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, and of course the Sportsocracy heard live or on demand everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. You can see us too. Go over to the YouTube page. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on the live video link in the middle of the page. Subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. And, of course, it is a football Friday, and that means we get to play Beat the Chief today. Both Beat the Chiefs with Asheville Police Chief David Zack and, of course, Keenan Nesbitt of the Buncombe County Sheriff's Office picking the college games coming up later on in the program. And, no, look. Last night was almost enough to turn me off of football forever.
Let's ride! Woohoo! Yeah, that's a great line. Hey, Russ, here's a thought. Maybe you should look around the room and just say, "Thank you. That will be the end of my availability, and I'm gonna go have a domestic light now."
It was the worst game I think I've ever seen. 12-9 overtime victory for the Indianapolis Colts, and I don't even know that you should really be able to chalk that up as a win.
I usually say things are eye broccoli.
Yes.
One of our loyal listeners likes to say it was eye bleach. I have come up with a new term of this would be this was eye leaked tape done by Kathy Bates. That's what that was.
Good Lord.
Yeah, if you watched more than 5 minutes of that, there's something wrong with you, and you're going to need to explain that.
I watched way more of the game than I should have.
I watched the All-22 today and the Gamecast last night just going, yep, that's going about it how I thought it would.
Yep, it was god-awful. We will talk more about last night's Thursday night football game coming up later on in the program, but it is 3 o'clock on a Friday, and we have Asheville Police Chief David Zack in studio with us, so it's time to play Beat the Chief. Beat the Chief. Jeremy and the Chief both tied, thanks to the House of Reprehensibles. He's not ready to talk about it yet.
I mean, look, not only did I have to pick the Thursday night game, win, but I got housed out of a victory. So, that's fine. Wire to wire. That's all I said. Just going to have to bring it a little more because now I see that the officials are working against me as well. No big deal.
Never blame the officiating. Never blame the officiating.
It's fine. It's fine. I understand why I am at a deficit. I get it. I just have to be better. I understand.
This is what we do every Friday, picking every game on the NFL slate against the spread, playing Beat the Chief with Asheville Police Chief David Zack, and it's brought to you by Clarissa Hyatt Zack of eXp Realty. Go to ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Last week, Jeremy and the Chief tied at 8, 5, and 2. We had 2 pushes last week. Again, thanks to the scoring malfunction by yours truly.
That's a very nice way of saying Tank read the spread wrong. But
yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm over it. We're on to this week, and there are many winners to be had.
I made my pick based on the spread I was provided.
Exactly. See?
Had I been provided a different number, perhaps
I would
have gone a different way.
And my only excuse there is you don't have to listen to him all day. You got to cull some of the words because there's a lot of them.
8, 5, and 2 was the record of the reigning champs. I was a game behind at 7, 6, and 2. Thanks, Jacksonville Jaguars, for not covering the spread against the Philadelphia Eagles. They started out well, didn't end well. This week's games, it all starts on Sunday morning at 9:30 Eastern Time as the Green Bay Packers take on the New York Giants. In the London game, just a reminder, there will be an early edition of the Fantasy Game Time Decisions show that we do every Sunday morning, starting at 8:30. Jeremy and armchair commentary, David Smith, our good Canada and friend.
Good chance that this week, much like last week, I will have to sit in the chair at 8 o'clock, have a domestic light and a little Debbie cake just to get the cameras on. It's fine.
Green Bay Packers are a 9-point favorite against the Giants. And I'll start at Green Bay -9. It feels like the easiest thing on the planet.
Yeah, you know how I feel about when things feel like the easiest thing on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
I am very in on the under of this game, which comes in at 41. I had this at 8 for most of the week, and I was leaning one way prior to that. And I'm just going to say it. Giants +9.
Giants plus 9.
9 is a ton of points in this league. You're going to London with a very young team. This is a complete upheaval of your schedule. I'm not saying Green Bay's going to lose because I don't think they do.
Mm-hmm.
I think this game looks strikingly similar to what we saw last night.
Yuck.
There may be more touchdowns, but I won't be shocked if Saquon scores in this game. Daniel Jones is at least enough of a threat. He's not good, but he can hurt you with his legs.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably enough to get them on the board. I'll say Green Bay wins this game 20-13.
Aaron Rodgers came out today and was talking about he's ready to let it loose. He's ready to let the arms start flying, that they need to start pushing the ball down the field. I think they can do that against the New York Giants. What do you think, Chief?
I'm glad to hear he feels that way because I got him in about a dozen fantasy leagues. So
right.
I'm glad he's going to air it out. Packers averaging 18 points a game.
And we're catching 9.
And we're getting 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think the Giants got to do a whole lot. So I'm going to be with Jeremy on this one. I'm going with the Giants plus the 9.
All right. I will be happily on my own as Green Bay blows out the Giants in London.
Based on last week and virtually every week that we've ever done this, we like when you're on the island by yourself.
New Orleans Saints and the Seattle Seahawks. This one down in New Orleans. New Orleans is a 5.5-point favorite. You have the New Orleans Saints, who are underwhelming, obviously, this year. They're not playing up to their potential, or at least the potential that we believe that team has. Seattle, meanwhile, is leaps and bounds over what we thought they would be, scoring, 46
48
points? 48 points last week in that shootout with the Detroit Lions. Now, this is a much tougher defense, obviously, that they're going up against with the New Orleans Saints. So, New Orleans -5.5, or are we taking Seattle plus the points?
Oh, this one's easy for me. This is a great combination of the public going one way, which is real fun for me to go on the other side and go, hey, y'all, from way over here, New Orleans Saints.
New Orleans Saints to cover the 5.5. Chief?
No. I like Seattle with the points this week. He's playing well. What are you going to do? And the injuries on the Saints side, and that defense does not appear to be as good as we thought it was, at least not through the first 4 weeks. So I think
when it's put in bad situations, that's what Jameis Winston does.
We'll take the points.
I'll tell you a fun stat about Pete Carroll, and I'll have a fun little trinket in a slew of these games.
Mm-hmm.
17 times he has won in the first week of back-to-back road games. You know what his record against the spread is in that second week?
Oh, what?
6-11.
Nice.
4 of those wins were against teams that won 4 games or less.
Okay. All right. Alvin Kamara's back this week, right?
He is.
New Orleans minus the 5.5 for me. I will be on Jeremy's side with this one, Chief, going it alone with Seattle plus the 5.5 in New Orleans. That's a tough place.
I have a feeling this week
to go and play.
Geno Smith will not have a cute one-liner after this week. Nobody wrote back. Oh, we'll write back this week. Have no fear. Marshawn Lattimore on DK Metcalf. End of message. Repeat the line.
Right.
Alvin Kamara is going to have a day.
He better. That's all I got to say. He better.
Formerly fat Jamal Williams had a day against this defense. What do you think an actual good running back in this league is going to do?
I'm just saying.
Especially one that's angry.
Yeah. New Orleans Saints, this is your last shot. This is your last shot for me. If you go lay an egg against the Seattle Seahawks this week, I'm done.
I have it on very good authority that Alvin Kamara was very upset that they didn't let him play last week because he thought he could go.
Mm-hmm.
I think he tries to prove a point this week.
All right. Jacksonville Jaguars take on the Houston Texans. Jaguars are at home for this one in the 1 o'clock slate, and they're a 7.5-point favorite. Chief, you want to break the ice?
I mean, I think we saw a hiccup from Lawrence last week.
It's a lot of fumbles.
A lot of fumble. I don't think you can fumble like that again.
He's in the rain. Against a tough defense.
And but I think they get it right this week. I don't like the points here, but I just feel better about I just don't know how the Texans are going to score. So I'm predicting a big day for Lawrence.
Okay.
Big bounce back.
All right, taking Jacksonville minus the 7.5. I will be right there with you. I'm not done with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like I said, last week I took them plus the points against the Philadelphia Eagles, and they started out 14-0, and I was like, I got one. Nope, didn't have it.
Missed it by that much. I have a slew of stats on this game. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 12-24 against the spread as home favorites since 2008. That is poopy. They are also 5-9 against the spread as favorites of a touchdown or more coming off a loss. I could keep doing this for probably the rest of this segment. And you know what all of that means? Not squirt. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars.
One of these is going to be picking in the at least in the top 2 of the NFL draft. The other one, probably going to be in the playoffs.
These are games that you have to look at for Jacksonville. This is a young team. It's at home. There is absolutely no – this is the most one-dimensional team in the league. The Houston Texans have one offensive asset.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Cooks, yeah, he's a great player. His problem, Davis Mills can't get in the ball. Not consistently at all. I'm not afraid of Chris Moore or Nico Collins or Brevin Jordan or any of this other litany of expansion players the Houston Texans are trotting out there. These are games, if you're as good as we think you are, you have to go in and never leave this in doubt. You should be up 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. You should be up by 3 scores at the end of the first half, and this game should never be in doubt.
The Buffalo Bills take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kenny Pickett, little tiny hands, Kenny Pickett.
I will tell you a fun stat. This is my favorite stat of the weekend. This is the first time since the Super Bowl became a thing that the Pittsburgh Steelers will be a 14-point dog.
Really?
They have been a 13.5-point dog once, and it was in Super Bowl 30 against the Dallas Cowboys. They lost, and they did not cover.
Mm-hmm.
I hate giving up this many points. I really do.
But you're gonna.
But I'm gonna. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
I've seen absolutely nothing from Pittsburgh this season that makes me think. Did we get a super chat?
We did, and nice. I apparently forgot to turn the volume off of the third computer.
I have seen.
If people knew the little workspace I had over here, I got 3 computers sitting on the desk, an open energy beverage, and a half-eaten burrito. Workflow.
Buffalo Bills minus 14. Pittsburgh is awful. They can't do anything. That offensive line is going to – I mean, Kenny Pickett may get sacked 10 times in that game.
Agreed. Buffalo, when the weather's good, which it will be, Buffalo scores 30 points a game regularly. I don't see Kenny Pickett putting up 16 points against that Buffalo defense, even a push. So I think Buffalo takes this walking away.
Everybody's on
Clean
Buffalo.
sweep.
Yep. Everybody's
so no
on
win
Buffalo.
for old little tiny hands.
No.
The Jets figured it out in a quarter. The Bills now have tape on it.
Mm-hmm.
I could see this getting ugly.
I could see a complete shutout on the way. For
I don't know
the
how Pittsburgh's going to
Steelers.
score.
Right. They can't run the ball. Kenny Pickett can't throw the ball. He might get lucky and hit one down the field to George Pickens. But George is probably going to have to kill himself to catch it in the first place.
George Pickens is a sneaky good play in DFS this week.
Poyer is out again, though. Poyer is definitely out again, but I don't think it matters. That banged up Buffalo secondary is doing a pretty darn good job, and just the pressure that they're getting up front, it's going to be there all day. I just don't see Pickett surviving that.
If you would have told me I would lay 14 points in an NFL game, I would have said you were out of your mind. But it did.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We'll take a quick break. When we come back from the break, it'll be time to talk about a battle in the NFC South, the Atlanta Falcons and my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Right here on ESPN Asheville, playing Beat the Chief with Asheville Police Chief Zack. And it's brought to you by Clarissa Hyatt Zack of eXp Realty. Go to ClarissaSellsWNC.com.
Properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville, or call them at 828-365-1663.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Find a job that fits your life at the WNC Career Expo on October 11th at the WNC Agricultural Center. Employers in Western North Carolina are looking for qualified candidates like you. Local companies will be hiring for jobs with flexible schedules and good pay. Find your future at the WNC Career Expo on Tuesday, October 11th from 11 to 4 at the WNC Ag Center, 761 Boylston Highway in Fletcher. Learn more at WNCCareerExpo.com. Presented by the Mountain Area Workforce Board and the Asheville Area Chamber of Commerce.
The United States Constitution says you have a right to keep and bear arms. That's a quote. It's plain English. But Sherry Beasley opposes your right to self-defense. Beasley was a liberal activist judge. She supports banning firearms and magazines that are owned by tens of millions of law-abiding Americans. Beasley wants to criminalize the private transfer of firearms. That means trading or even loaning guns to your own extended family would require government permission every time. That's how Beasley got endorsed by radical gun control groups. But Ted Budd, he defends your rights. Ted Budd is A-rated and endorsed by the NRA. Ted Budd knows North Carolina gun owners because he is a North Carolina gun owner, firearms dealer, and instructor. Vote freedom first. Elect Ted Budd, U.S. Senate. NRA Victory Fund, Inc. paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. 11250 Waples Mill Road, Fairfax, Virginia.
Thomas, Jeremy Greene, and Beat the Chief here on ESPN Asheville. Playing Beat the Chief with Asheville Police Chief Zack, brought to you by Clarissa Hyatt Zack of eXp Realty. Go to ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Picking each and every game against the spread in the NFL slate this week. And we got an NFC South matchup.
Well, hold on. We have a super chat that we have to get to, and I want to get Asheville Police Chief Zack's take on this. This is from one of our resident Canadians, Gage Camplin. Hey, fellas, is it just me or does Russ give you that psycho Tom Cruise vibe?
What?
He's losing his mind as it's going on. You cannot possibly walk away from that game and then go, well, gotta go do my media availability. Let's ride. That's the only way that would have made that any stupider. If he had gone pocket guns at the camera as he walked off. Like, stop that. Shut up and go learn how to play football because you're bad.
Did he say let's
Yes,
ride?
and he said it like a little kid that had piddled their pants on a playground. He said all those things and then walked past the mic and went, let's ride.
Let's ride.
It sounded like a ride to a federal penitentiary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still have faith in Russ?
It's dwindling.
Yeah, mine's gone.
Dwindling.
Mine has evaporated.
I don't know. I don't know at this point if it's.
Is he that bad?
Oh, he's awful.
Well,
we're going to talk
about this
is
more.
he really? I know he's playing poorly, but is he really, really that bad?
Okay, so I heard this said better than it could possibly have ever been said, and it was Colin Cowherd earlier today. He was talking about baseball pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
If you took away your A pitch and your B pitch, how many pitchers in all of baseball would even be passable at that point?
Right.
Russ now does not have his two best pitches. His mobility was one. He refuses to run. I don't know if that's from Nathaniel Hackett. I don't know if it's from him. I have no clue.
Mm-hmm.
He can't throw a deep ball. The one he completed last night was 14 yards underthrown, according to Next Gen.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, that is my favorite thing in the world, Next Gen stats.
In watching him play, it's the locking on that initial read, and there's people wide open
last night.
Like all of a sudden, he's a rookie who locks in on his first receiver. That's what I don't. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, he's not fooling anybody with his eyes, and it's almost as if this is the first time they've ever met, him and his receivers, because how many times last night did he either overshoot Jerry Jeudy, who was pretty damn fast, like he's expecting it's DK Metcalf or something. I don't know. Or they're running the wrong route, or he's throwing a fade when they're running the post. It's like what is going on?
He cannot throw the deep ball, and so nobody's scared of it. So now you've got the constant spy, just in case he decides to run. It is so easy to scheme him. And Gage followed up with a question of, would you rather have Russell Wilson or Jalen Hurts right now? It's Jalen Hurts and not even close.
Agreed.
Oh, that's
because I can scheme for Jalen Hurts. I can scheme out his deficiencies. I'm not sure I can scheme out Russ's deficiencies. I'm not sure I can scheme that out.
Ugh.
And I don't trust Nathaniel Hackett to do it at all.
It is so bad. NFC South matchup in the 1 o'clock slate tomorrow. The Atlanta Falcons take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers down at Raymond James.
I want to do this so bad. I want to do it so bad. And I said this last week with Seattle, and I was wrong. Oh, I can't. I can't. I'm taking Tampa Bay. I don't want to, but I'm going to.
Taking Tampa Bay minus the 10.5.
I thought the line was going to move. It hasn't. No Cordero Patterson's going to be a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Algier, that's cute. I mean, I'm sure you can run between the tackles. The problem is this is probably a game where Tampa learns how to get home. Low-key stat, Atlanta's offensive line has been phenomenal. Those are words I never thought I'd say out loud.
No. Finally, they've got a good offensive line with all that draft capital that they've got wrapped up into it.
I'm taking Tampa. I think this is a push. I have this game finishing 27-17.
Mm-hmm.
But I will take Tampa very begrudgingly.
Okay, Tampa Bay covering the 10.5. What do you think, Chief?
If I got this right, there's 2 4-0 teams. Eagles and Falcons against the spread.
Really? Interesting.
So that being said, plus 10.5, I'll go for 5-0.
Okay. Is it 10.5?
It's 10.5.
I changed my pick. Falcons. I listened to the number that time.
Good for you. Good for you. It's important to listen to the number. Man. And I thought I was going to be the spicy one here. But I'm taking Atlanta plus
we're
the
all
10
doing
and a half.
it. Oh, we're all doing it. That's gross. I don't like it.
Well, listen.
Can I go back to what I originally said?
The Tampa Bay offense finally showed up last week against Kansas City. Only because you had to. Now, you're going to have the weapons there. Chris Godwin's there. Mike Evans is there. Julio Jones will probably play. There's, Rashad White starting to get involved in the game plan as well. I'm just not ready. I'm not ready to trust Tom with this kind of a spread. Not just Tom, but the entire Tampa Bay team. Atlanta has made their living so far this year on keeping games close.
They also do a great job of keeping the ball away from you.
Yeah, and I don't know that this is going to be any different. So Atlanta plus the 10.5. I mean, if it was a straight up pick 'em, Tampa Bay, no question, wins. But it's going to be closer than you want it to be.
M. Bradley in our YouTube comment said, "Hey, Tank finally adhered to the show mantra of #NoHomer." Good for you.
Hey, I'm trying to. I got 2 games to make up here. I thought that was one that I was going to get. Now everybody's on Atlanta. Yeah. It doesn't help me. Doesn't help me at all. The Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. Ugh.
This is another game. If you watch a lot of this, I need you to explain why.
Minnesota -9. Yeah, and I'm shocked that it wasn't higher.
This is one of those that's I do think this is going to be close to the number.
Do you?
I do. I think it's going to be close to the number. Stat to know in this one, home team has won 27 of the last 38 meetings in this series. Home field has mattered a lot. Justin Fields also has been horrendous on the road. Mm-hmm. I'm taking Minnesota.
Yeah. Minnesota -9. You there?
Least efficient quarterback in the NFL.
Ever. He is so bad. And you know what's funny? My inbox is open all the time, and there has not been one apology from any of those Bears fans that called me ugly names on the interwebs.
Shocker
not
of shockers.
One. I've waited. I've sat around. I've cried over it. I hate it when people don't like me.
I don't believe that.
You shouldn't.
I don't believe.
I really don't care. I really don't care what the number is. I don't see how Chicago's going to stop Justin Jefferson.
They're not.
Who's had like what 2 weeks in a row that well, last week was pretty good for him, but before that it was a little tough sledding. I think he's back on track. It's going to be just fine. We're all on Minnesota -9.
I will tell you there is something to be said for the action is heavy on Minnesota. Hadn't changed the line at all. It always makes me nervous that there's some low key wise guy somewhere that's just heaping money on the Bears. Because that's usually why that happens.
Mm-hmm.
The money stays level even though the ticket disparity is not there, the money disparity is not there. And that keeps it on one side. That always makes me nervous. It was almost enough for me to take Chicago, but not enough.
Tennessee Titans go to the nation's capital, or close to it, I guess, to take on the Washington Commanders. And the Titans are a 2-point favorite over the Commies. I've seen nothing from Washington that makes me believe that there's a turnaround coming anytime soon. I get Tennessee's not the toughest defensive team out there, but I'm almost feeling like Carson Wentz is just back to bad Carson Wentz. And I think the Tennessee defense will be able to put pressure on him, and they'll make enough plays to win this game comfortably.
I'm going to do something that I've never done before. We do a gambling segment with Ingles that plays all over the Southeast on Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
In that segment, I took the Tennessee Titans. The line has now moved. And I have watched the action all week long. And this is my upset special of the week. I'm taking the Washington Commanders. Do I have a good reason for that? No, I don't. No, I don't. But the Washington franchise is 16-8 against the spread after losing to the Cowboys since 1997. That is one of those weird anomaly stats that does not make any sense. There is ridiculous money on the Titans. And this is the same principle that I had last night with the Indianapolis Colts and the Denver Broncos. When I have two teams that are not good, and I'm catching one at home, and I'm getting points, that's the side to be on. Indianapolis Colts. Or Indianapolis Colts. They played last night, and I didn't get that one right. Washington Commanders.
All right, Chief.
I think the Titans have rebounded really nice since the drubbing they took in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
And they have looked a lot better. And also Derrick Henry is looking like Derrick Henry should. And I think...
And getting more involved in the passing game.
Yeah. And Tannehill still is... I think his career's over. But, I think it's enough to beat the Commanders.
Wait. His career is over? What do you mean?
He is done. I just do not like Tannehill. I think he's done.
Dave is anti-analytics.
I think.
So wait. So you're saying
I don't see him with a future in Tennessee much longer.
So you're calling it now.
I'm calling
Malik
it now.
Willis. It's Malik Willis time.
I'll tell you.
I'm not saying it's necessarily that. He's taken them as far as he possibly can with the best running back in football. How much longer do you go with Tannehill? And I don't see, I just don't see it.
Right.
I'll tell you another thing that's not getting the play this week. Without Arthur Smith, Ryan Tannehill's home road splits are Gnarls Barkley. He is god-awful on the road. This is one of I don't have a great reason, and I'm not telling you to go with me.
Mm-hmm.
This is just one of those that I've done this to myself enough times this year of where I'm looking at the betting analytics, I'm looking at all the things going, all the wise guys are on one side. I've gotten every single one of those wrong. I'm not getting burned again.
So the sharp money's on Washington.
Heavy.
Really?
Heavy. 70% of tickets on Tennessee, 65% of money on Washington.
Mm-hmm.
What does that tell you? Tells you that there's a bunch of wise guys that are throwing out bands to make them dance that are on Washington. Let's go.
All right, so Jeremy's going Washington plus the 2. Chief, you're on Tennessee minus the 2?
I am.
All right, I'm with the Chief on this one as well. Tennessee minus the 2. Derrick Henry will have a day. The defense of the Washington Commanders is not as good as I want it to be, and I just don't see Washington making enough big plays.
Here's the thing that nobody seems to be talking about. Oh, the defense for Washington is not that good. Who scares you over the top for Tennessee?
No one.
How do they get annihilated? Because they have to stretch themselves thin to cover over the top. There's nobody to scare you.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. I feel so good about that. I'm so glad y'all didn't go with me.
The Miami Dolphins go to New York.
Now, the question is, am I going to go no homer? Tank went no homer.
Mm-hmm.
After the break, we'll let you know.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Dry cold front on its way in. Drop the numbers for the weekend. We've got some clouds tonight, but I don't think we'll see much in the way of precip chances here as the front clears us. 45 are low in the valley. Then sunny, breezy, cooler, lower humidity for Saturday and Sunday. High temps in the low 60s. Nighttime lows in the 30s. Saturday night and Sunday night, I think we'll be just above freezing in the valley, but below freezing with elevation. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Chucky.
A new season is here, and with it, major delays being reported due to another killer doll with a shady plan. Just how many Chuckies are there? Chucky is here to chuck stuff up, including our freeways. Chucky Season 2, Wednesdays 9/8 Central, only on USA and Sci-Fi.
Have you ever felt depressed about work, only to have your dad be like, "Why are you so down?" So you told him you hate your job, and he said, "Well, you better talk yourself out of it." And then you thought, I love to talk. I could host a podcast. And then you went to Spreaker from iHeart and started a podcast and got good at it, then monetized it, then quit your boring job, then told your dad, "Thanks for the advice." And he was like, "Well, that's not what I meant, and I don't understand what a podcast is, but you seem happy, so that's great, kiddo." You ever do that? Well, you could. At Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker. Ask your dad. You actually don't.
You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, dirt, and germs, and it's why nose cleaning is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons: sinusitis, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they also find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Nearly 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying things like, best product I've ever used, and amazing, I love my Navage. That's because Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Here's the key point. Navage is good personal hygiene, and it's going to help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
We won. And you didn't.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I lost again this past week and beat the Chief here on ESPN Asheville. Always brought to you by Clarissa Hyatt Zack of eXp Realty. Check her out at clarissasellswnc.com. Asheville Police Chief David Zack joining us as he does every Friday to pick all the NFL games against the spread. So far, our disagreements. I am on the Green Bay Packers to cover 9 points in the London game at 9:30 on Sunday morning against the New York Giants. We got the Chief taking the Seattle Seahawks plus 5.5 against the New Orleans Saints. Jeremy is on the Washington Commanders plus 2 at home against the Tennessee Titans. And now, after I thought I was going to pick up a game going Atlanta plus the 10.5 against my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but everybody went with me. Now it's Jeremy's turn. See if he can play no homer.
I reserve the right. It's my team. I reserve the right to pick last.
New York Jets.
I will defer to the end.
The New York Jets are a 3.5-point dog against the Miami Dolphins. And, interesting little wrinkle, Tyreek Hill may not play. If Tyreek Hill doesn't play...
Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, both questionable.
And Tua, of course, still in the concussion protocol. He didn't even make the trip to New York.
Correct.
So it's going to be the Teddy Bridgewater show, minus Tyreek Hill possibly.
Now, I think Hill and Waddle both play. Just
you do.
For posterity's sake, yes. Everything I have been told is the Jets believe they will play.
Mm-hmm.
Proceed.
All right. Well, I'm going Jets plus the 3.5. I am. I'm taking Jets plus the 3.5 because.
And that's the kiss of death.
It is the kiss of death. It's the kiss of death for your team. Look, I think you probably win this game outright as well. I'm starting to believe in the Jets defense. Not so sure about the offense yet. Zach Wilson still, He still makes some throws that I go, I don't know.
Oh, we screamed this.
Yeah, give it to Breece Hall.
Just give Breece Hall the
Just
ball.
run the damn ball.
That's a line you're going to hear a lot today.
I'm with you on the Jets. With you on the Jets. Bridgewater's capable, but I think losing Tua and the scrutiny on is really affecting the psyche of the team a little bit because they did not look good at all last week, and I think there's something to that, and I just don't see Teddy Bridgewater, although he's capable. I mean, he's an NFL quarterback. He's been around, 8 years?
Mm-hmm.
But the Jets are going in the right direction.
Miami can't run the ball, and New York, as Jeremy has said 800 times in the last 2 weeks, has two of the highest graded corners in the NFL.
I was very sure that this was going to be a place that I was going to get a game back. I've already been asked. I've been committed all week to show the depth of my my Jets wardrobe, so just so it can be seen. I am very obviously on the Miami Dolphins. That was much harder to spell than I thought it would be.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Honestly, because so much of the simple money's coming on the Jets. I was on the Jets all week, and what's ironic is I have gotten more on the Jets more on the Dolphins the higher the number's gotten. Sharp money's on Miami. This is one of those games that, look, I've been a Jets fan a long time. These are not games we win. These are just not games we win. When it sets up that everything looks like the team coming in is battered, beleaguered, whatever the case may be, these are games that invariably go one of two ways. Either we get smoked, which happens a lot, or you have one of those close back and forths. Zack makes the young quarterback mistake that either goes back to the house or puts the Dolphins in a position to score. They score, run out of time. I'm going to say this game is 31-24 Dolphins. I think this will be a higher scoring game than most do.
Okay.
The Jets have also been susceptible to the big play for 30 years, so I refuse to believe with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill that they're not going to give up at least one. The safeties are not good.
All right, Jeremy going against his Jets.
And trust me, it hurt. It hurt. I wanted to be on the other side. I was on the other side for most of the week, but now I'm here.
New York Jets plus the 3.5 for me and the Chief. Jeremy going for the Miami Dolphins to cover by more than a field goal. I thought for sure the hook would get you.
It almost did. I mean, this is one of those weird weeks where I have altered my thinking all week. So I have Jets tickets at plus 2.5 and Dolphins tickets at minus 3.5. That's one of those where you go, well, there's just no winning here, is there?
Los Angeles Chargers take on the Cleveland Browns. It's a 1 o'clock game in Cleveland, and the Chargers are 2.5-point favorite. I'm going Cleveland plus the 2.5. Because the Chargers, despite the best efforts of Brandon Staley to revamp that defensive line and get some run stuffers, it's still not working.
They're awful against the run.
It's still not working. And Cleveland, that's the one thing that they do. It's going to be Nick Chubb season. It has been Nick Chubb season, and it will continue to be Nick Chubb season. I don't know that they win outright, but I got a good feeling that they will.
I'm with you. I'm taking Cleveland. I think Nick Chubb is the first player going in my DFS lineups this week. They're just going to eviscerate them that way. The Chargers are killed. I mean, just think about this. You're missing your best offensive lineman. You're missing your best pass rusher. Your free agent signing at corner has either been hurt or horrible the whole year. And you're on the road. West Coast team coming east. All of those things are up against you. Cleveland Browns.
Chief?
Browns run all over the Chargers.
Yep. All right.
That was the easiest game of the week.
Indeed.
If you had that as the easy one.
The New England Patriots and the Detroit Lions.
Now this one, on the other hand, is not so easy.
It's not so easy.
The Lions.
I mean, you obviously have the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick, Mr. Game Plan, Mr. I know more than everybody else. It's going to be a Brian Hoyer week again. Or is it Bailey Zappi? Is Brian Hoyer back? Is he ready to play?
No, it'll either be Bailey Zappi or Mac Jones. I think it's going to be Bailey Zapp.
Wow. So you got backup quarterback, more than likely, going for the New England Patriots. A god-awful offense going up against one of the most prolific offenses in the NFL.
Oh, I see where you're headed here.
I can't help myself. I love the Detroit Lions, and I'm taking the Lions plus the 3.5. I think to me, it should be, the number should be higher than this.
I'm going to steal a line from an artist that I've always thought is very terrible. I don't want anybody else. When I bet with Bill, I cash that check. Ooh, 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 ooh. New England Patriots.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
New England Patriots.
New England Patriots.
Bill at home against that defense. Mm-hmm. I don't care who's playing quarter. I don't care if Tony Eason comes out of whatever hole he's hiding in to play quarterback for New England. I don't care. That defense is horrible.
True.
Horribly bad. New England's just going to bleed this clock and run them dry. I don't know how you couldn't stop Rashad Penny. Mm-hmm. How are you going to stop a good offensive line with 2 running backs at minimum? This is just one of those that sets up that the public – this line stinks. I mean, we all three agree on that, right? New England's bad.
Yeah.
This line has not moved much at all from in the last couple of days. Early money came in. It went heavy New England. To me, this is the biggest bait and switch I've ever seen New England.
Lions have the highest scoring offense in the league.
Yes.
Right? Up against a third-string quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but the Lions are the kiss of death for me and have been for 3 years now. I don't think I've ever won picking the Lions, except this week.
Except for this week.
I think this is the week. This is the week.
Oh, so you're picking Detroit too?
I'm taking Detroit.
Hey, so
and getting the best offense, highest scoring offense, getting points against a team that can't score.
I need to make a call to Vegas. I'm on the opposite side of both of you in a game that I am very sure I am right. Mm-hmm. And Chief is taking the Detroit Lions, where some very strange things have happened when he's done that. I may need to make a call in the break and up a number that was already pretty sizable in the first place.
4:05 start at Bank of America Stadium. The San Francisco 49ers come to town to take on the Carolina Panthers, who are possibly the worst team in the NFL.
They're very bad.
They're god-awful. And somehow this line's only 6.5 points.
The 6.5 is what makes this so easy for me.
San Francisco, -6.5.
Oh, easy. San Francisco, no doubt. That defense will – Ike McQuanu, he had such a great game this week. It looked so much better, didn't it? Yeah. There's a Bosa on line 1 that will be seeing you very shortly. Mm-hmm. And I have a feeling that you're going to go, that's what happens when you play a legitimate pass rush that actually has a legitimate pass rusher. I
don't see how Carolina's going to score.
I don't either. And Baker's nonsensical ramblings in press conferences is making it all the worse. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like anytime you see a quarterback that's playing this bad that does that, everybody in the locker room looks around and goes, this guy. Look at this schmuck. Get out of here with your stupid bandana and your god-awful progressive commercials.
Right.
Man, I can't wait for Sam Darnold to come in and show he's the better quarterback.
Chief, are you with us?
I like the progressive commercials.
Did you?
I always did, yeah. Okay.
Right.
I wish Baker Mayfield would go home and stay there.
I think they're calling for Sam Darnold pretty soon here.
Oh, absolutely.
When does he return?
They said he was not close this week, so you probably got 2 more weeks of Baker.
Couple more weeks, yeah. No, Niners.
Niners minus the 6.5. Across the board, Philadelphia Eagles go down to the Barrel Cactus to take on the Arizona Cardinals. And Philadelphia is a 5-point favorite. I don't see how Kyler Murray is going to be able to handle the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles.
To be honest with you, I don't either.
And the Arizona defense is god-awful.
It's not good.
It's Philly by a mile.
And you highlighted a matchup that's obviously very important. That's not even what I'm looking at. I'm looking at when Philadelphia has the ball, how are you going to get them off the field?
Mm-hmm.
Arizona's been terrible. The Rams, they couldn't do this. Rams barely scored. What did they score? 20 points in that game? Couldn't get them off the field. So now I'm going to simplify even further for Jalen Hurts, who right now is running an offense that I broke this down. Shoe buddy. Nick Sirianni is a very smart cat because that offense is elementary at best, and sometimes simplicity is a beautiful thing. Philadelphia.
Chief?
Yeah, I think you guys got it covered.
All right.
Nothing I can add to that conversation.
All right, everybody's
We'll go
on Philly minus the 5. We've got probably the trap game of the day. And the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams, plus the primetime games. We'll pick those up next here on ESPN Asheville. Play and Beat the Chief with Asheville Police Chief Zack. Brought to you by Clarissa Hyatt Zack of eXp Realty. Go to ClarissaSellsWNC.com.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Bundling car and renter's insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. So why not ask? Just say,
"Hey, did you get your haircut? It looks cool. Also, have you saved even more by bundling with Geico?"
Or maybe,
"Hey, did you get your haircut? It looks weird. Not weird, cool. Anyway, have you bundled with Geico?"
Or try,
"Hey, did you get your haircut? It doesn't look weird at all. Anywho, have you saved by bundling with... Hey, easy with that rake."
Bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
Streaming only on Peacock.
What is your relationship with Robert Birchtold?
Well, he's practically a member of the family.
Based on the true story.
He gets these impulsive moods.
From the executive producer of The Acting Candy.
He will lie and manipulate to get the only thing he wants.
Where is Jan? Where is she?
Your husband kidnapped her.
Hello?
A friend of the family.
Everything I did was to get closer to you.
Streaming now only on Peacock.
It is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. We are in the Ingles Studio and playing Beat the Chief with Asheville Police Chief Zack. Brought to you by Clarissa Hyatt Zack of eXp Realty. Go to ClarissaSellsWNC.com. The Dallas Cowboys take on the LA Rams in the 4 o'clock slate. It's the last 4 o'clock game of the day on Sunday. And Cooper Rush, man, it's a thing.
Mean guy. Yeah, I'm good. I'll break the ice on this one. They are going to get smoked. Rams.
Taking the Rams.
Rams easy.
Rams minus the 5.5.
And the more they talk,
Greene.
the more liable I think that is to happen. CeeDee Lamb said, "Oh, this is a home game for us." Oh, you are going to regret saying that.
He's not wrong, though.
I didn't say he was wrong. It's one of those things, and you all know what those things are. There's just certain things you don't say out loud. That's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Bye, Dallas.
Yep.
So than that, but I'm not on the Cooper Rush.
You're not feeling it. You're
not this week. I am not feeling it this week.
You're not feeling the mean guy.
No, the only thing is like the concern I had is like really what are the Rams doing well right now?
Nothing.
That's what bothers me the most. And but I still I can't get behind.
The Rams are doing nothing offensively right now, and the Dallas Cowboys just have this momentum behind them.
Are you taking
I'm
Dallas?
taking Dallas plus the 5.5. I'm taking them plus the 5.5. They're going to lose, but 5.5 to me is too much.
Yeah, the Rams are going to smoke them.
Yeah, we'll see. We will see. Micah Parsons all over Matt Stafford. Stafford keeps making bonehead plays and turnovers. I'll take my chances. I got to pick up a game somewhere here. The two that I thought I was going to pick up.
He has begun chasing.
Yes.
This is when we distance ourselves.
Yes, I'm chasing already. Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday Night Football. It's Baltimore minus 3.5 at home.
This one's easy for me.
I think
I get the better team, and I'm catching 3.5. I don't care if it's on the road.
Yep,
I think it's a field goal game one way or the other. I can't tell you who's going to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
If you had given me 3.5 on either side, I was taking that. Cincinnati.
From what I have seen so far, Cincinnati is the superior team, at least the last 2 weeks. That defense for Baltimore is not getting it done. I don't see any reason to take Baltimore Baltimore to cover 3.5 at home against that offense.
I just don't love this spot.
Chief, are you on Baltimore or Cincinnati?
Ravens are going to have to beat this choke label.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're losing these close games at home. But I'm kind of with you guys. I think it stays close enough. I do think the Ravens win this, but it's going to be close, and I'll take the points.
All right, Monday Night Football, Kansas City, 7.5-point favorite against the Las Vegas Raiders. And I think they will just pound the Raiders. I'm not buying it.
I'm with you. I really would love to find a reason to take the Raiders. I just can't do it.
No.
That's a ton of points, and I hate giving a number like
They
this.
won a game last week because Josh Jacobs was able to run the football, and I don't think he's going to be running the football much.
Now, plus that team is really hurt.
Las Vegas chasing points all night long, just like Tampa did.
Yeah, I mean, Raiders do play the Chiefs tough regularly.
And they've upset them in some stupid positions.
They have. I like the fact the way Jacobs is running and his utilization, but yeah, the Chiefs look. I mean, they just got a ton of momentum. And I don't see the Raiders being able to keep up with them.
All right, enjoy the football this weekend. We will have the Chief back in with us next Friday to play Beat the Chief. Brought to you by Clarissa Sells WNC.com. SportsCenter is up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Dry cold front on its way in. Drop the numbers for the weekend. We've got some clouds tonight, but I don't think we'll see much in the way of precip chances here as the front clears us. 45 our low in the valley. Then sunny, breezy, cooler, lower humidity for Saturday and Sunday. High temps in the low 60s. Nighttime lows in the 30s. Saturday night, Sunday night, I think we'll be just above freezing in the valley, but below freezing with elevation. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
Drought, war, and rising food prices have doubled the number of families facing malnutrition. You can help. $50 provides a food kit to feed a family for a month. Just text the word radio to 97646.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
Hello there. I'm Mark Robbins. Major League Baseball postseason has its first game result. Game 1 in Cleveland, the Guardians over Tampa Bay, 2-1. Jose Ramirez with a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 6th. That's the Guardians' only runs of the game. The other AL wildcard series is Toronto hosting Seattle. About to begin. Blue Jays with home field. Alex Manoah will be on the mound for Toronto in Game 1. And ESPN MLB insider Jeff Passan says Manoah needs to pitch well to back up that potent lineup.
They need him to pitch well because, frankly, their bullpen has some questions at this point. One question they don't have is their lineup. And you're talking George Springer, Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Teoscar Hernandez. The depth of the Blue Jays lineup really is going to test Luis Castillo, who the Seattle Mariners traded for at the deadline this year for this exact moment. The Mariners' starting pitching has been their hallmark.
That's Jeff Passan on MLB And right now, scoreless in St. Louis. Cardinals and the Phillies on ABC and ESPN Radio.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Eric Kendricks, 8-year linebacker with the Minnesota Vikings.
Let's ride.
I don't want you to say that.
Yeah. Get more from the guys Monday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 on a football Friday. We'll just have to see. You think Dallas just gets absolutely demolished this week, Jeremy?
This is one of those fun times. I love talking about public narratives. The public is heavily on Dallas because they just saw the Rams play poorly.
Yep.
The number was off from the jump. Dallas is not good. I hate to break that to anybody. They're not good. Right? And I understand no home field with the Rams. You throw dirt on people because you saw something recently, and I love playing those numbers.
Yep. That's the wild card I'm taking this week. Because to me, it's just so hard. It's just so hard. Every week there are 3 or 4 games that are just inexplicably close. And Dallas, apparently, they have been a part of all of them all year long. Maybe that does come to an end this week.
Yeah, here's something else that's inexplicable. Amazon Prime paid $1 billion for a cat poo.
Well,
that was awful.
It was just last night's game.
You're just super excited for next week? The Washington Commanders and the Chicago Bears.
Hopefully it'll be more competitive.
This game was competitive.
Yeah, but was it? Was it really competitive? The score was close, and they were chasing, that each team trying to win, apparently.
You know what I learned last night?
I don't think that's the truth, though.
I learned a very valuable lesson last night. If you live on a farm, you live out in the country, whatever the case may be, you want to know how to keep a horse out of your backyard? Put a goalpost in it. They won't get anywhere near it.
Last night was the worst game I think I've ever seen. Indianapolis Colts beat the Denver Broncos 12-9. It was a field goal game the entire game. And these two quarterbacks are awful. Matt Ryan is terrible.
Matt Ryan's just old.
Russell Wilson, he ain't better. In fact, he might be worse than Matt Ryan.
He's not. But at this point, I can't explain to you why this is happening. This is one of those times that I almost feel like Russ is trying to prove a point of I don't have to be the mobile quarterback. I don't have to do all the things I was asked to do in Seattle. I can just sit back and throw darts. I hate to break this to you. No, you can't. No, you can't. And I'm going to say the same thing I said with Chief Zack in here with us. Russell Wilson did 2 things really well. He broke containment. He could elude pass rush. He was mobile. He could run. He could throw the deep ball. He now refuses to do the first thing I said, and he can't do the second thing I said. He's one of the worst deep ball throwers in the NFL.
This season.
It's awful. It is awful. You look at the analytics, he's down there with Justin Fields and Davis Mills and Baker Mayfield. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
You just got to throw that dig in there every time, don't you?
I do. That team's just not good. And I don't know if it's on Hackett. I don't know what it is. You ran the ball decently a couple of times. It really skewed the numbers that you had 3 or 4 good chunk runs. Other than that, you did nothing. Melvin Gordon, completely irrelevant. And I just look at Denver and go, this is not going to get any better. Because now the game planning Russell Wilson's become too easy. I don't have to worry about you beating me because you can't do it. And look at who they play the next 3 weeks. Chargers, Jets, Jaguars. You know what all 3 of those teams have in common?
What's that?
They have corners that I can go man on man. I don't need that safety over the top. I got dogs on the outside for me that can deal with Judy and Cortland Sutton. There is a possibility, and I think it's a good possibility, that this Denver Bronco team is going to be 2-6. They don't match up well with any of the three teams I just said.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you catch a young Jets team in Denver, you might win that one. That still puts you at 3-5. And you are now irrelevant. People lost their minds when Denver went and got Russell Wilson. I'm going to say something that's going to be a little spicy, and people will say I'm overreacting. Is there a possibility that Russell Wilson's just incredibly overrated?
It's hard to say no to that. I mean, obviously, if we hadn't seen this and he was still in Seattle, and I think this question has been posed when he was in Seattle with Pete Carroll, and we all obviously said, no, he's not overrated. He's a winner. Look, he's out there. He's doing this. He's got them with winning records every year, even though they have so many holes. But now that he's gone to a new place, now that he has new weapons, now we're starting to see that maybe so. Maybe it has all been Pete Carroll.
I can't tell you that it's all Pete Carroll. I can tell you that one of my favorite lines in the world is when you hear hoofbeats, it makes a lot more sense to assume horses than zebras. We all think Pete Carroll's a pretty bright guy.
Yeah.
He had absolutely no fear of alienating Russell Wilson. None.
Mm-hmm.
It was obvious. We made fun of it. Of you're alienating your quarterback and you don't care.
Maybe
Why?
This is why.
Why? You go into a season with Geno Smith and Drew Lock and you have no fear. Why? We thought it was because you're tanking. Well, it's still a 70-year-old coach. This is a 70-year-old coach that was willing to let a Pro Bowl quarterback walk out the door for draft picks that I'm going to have to stay around to develop for this to make any sense for me. And now, Seattle's better than Denver, and it's not close. I mean, I hate to break this to you, Denver fans. You're one of the 8 worst teams in the NFL, period. You're the worst team in that division by a mile.
Mm-hmm.
And you're boring. First of all, how is this team on primetime 4 times in the first 6 weeks? They're the Monday night game this week.
Because it's Russell Wilson.
Or next week.
Because it's Russell Wilson. Because it was so hyped up that Russell Wilson is going to come to Denver. I mean, I kept saying about Denver last year? If they only had a quarterback, this would be a playoff team.
And that's just not true.
But it's not. Now they have the quarterback, and they're awful. Russell Wilson has been a huge disappointment this year. And frankly, if I were an NC State fan, I would want him to stop claiming that he went to my school.
And here's another fun little stat about Russell Wilson. You know how many winning years he has in the last 4 seasons against winning teams? None.
None of them?
None. He has not been over 500 against winning teams in 6 years.
Wow.
I mean, you can vouch for this. I was off the Seattle bandwagon long ago because Russell Wilson is not good enough to carry you. He's not. He hasn't been. This is not new information. He had a great deep ball. He had a great set of deep ball receivers in DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett.
Mm-hmm.
So, in spite of the fact that he got hit all the time and he wanted to whine about, well, I'm playing behind this terrible offensive line. Oh, just wait. With no Garrett Bowles, wait to see what you're playing behind now. Because those days in Seattle, this will make that look like a weekend in the Hamptons. And I have to admit, I think it's kind of funny. Sitting back watching this, I think it's kind of funny.
Why?
Because Russell Wilson, over time, he always had this aura about him of he was the underdog and he had worked to do all these things and people loved him and he's a likable guy. He's becoming less likable by the day. First of all, he's a robot. I mean, you remember those dolls that you used to get your kids where you pull the drawstring and it would have like 7 phrases that it just said on repeat and they would drive you insane?
Yeah.
Russell Wilson does the exact same thing. He has all these little stupid catchphrases and he throws them on at the end. That plays real well. The Go Hawks, that's fun when you're losing. The Let's Ride after a 12-9 eye-bleached Thursday night football game is really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And he just doesn't seem to have that awareness of that. And you've got the beautiful wife, and you wear your own jersey to the stadium. I've never seen another quarterback do that. Never. I've never seen any other quarterback do that. And it's just this accumulation of all parts of you were really likable as the underdog. You were the kid that NC State replaced you with Mike Glennon, and you had to go to Wisconsin, and it was a whole pack of Badgers.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're the wealthy guy that doesn't understand that you're about as likable as a whole box full of used Kleenexes, and you just don't get it. There's no situational awareness whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest with you. Name me a team in the NFL that's more listless for the next 5 years than the Denver Broncos. You go 2 full years without a number 1 draft pick. You're stuck with Russ for 4 years. And if you think he's going to get better, I have a bridge to sell you. I told you he's going to age like cheese. I did not think it would happen this quickly.
Right. You didn't think that it would be just like turning a light switch.
And he's still mobile. I mean, I've seen him run. He refuses to do it. And there's only one of 2 reasons that could be possible. Either Nathaniel Hackett is telling him not to, which I really struggle to believe.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've been fooled by people and their stupidity before. But for me to think that you gave up the franchise to go get a quarterback who is predicated on his ability to break, contain, and hurt you deep, and you're going to tell him to sit in the pocket and just throw darts, I don't buy that. Here's what I find to be much more likely. Russ has gotten paid. He's got his money. He wants to continue to play, and I'm not overly sure that winning is that important to him. He has a rock star wife, and now he does all the commercials, and he does all of the things because you lost the thing that gave you the edge. Your edge was that you were the underdog, and all these quarterbacks went in front of me, and nobody believed in me. Well, now everybody believes in you. Nobody went into this season going, well, Russell Wilson's not a top 12 quarterback in the NFL. Other than me. I said that a few times.
Uh-huh.
And now you've lost that edge. Now you're the wealthy guy. And the grinder has gone away. And this is going to be a really weird analogy. But the timing of when I saw this was just too perfect. You remember the DeLorean? That weird stainless steel car that was in Back to the Future?
Yeah.
So the guy that created that was a guy named John DeLorean that was an executive for General Motors, grinded, really all the things, very likable guy, very charismatic. And then he got all the money. And everybody believed that he could do no wrong. And what happened? He believed all the press clippings.
Mm-hmm.
And he started manipulating people. And I'm not saying that about Russell Wilson. What I am saying is I think you have started to believe your own press. That you've made it, that you're the guy. And the grinding has stopped. And now you do all these stupid commercials and you just have no situational awareness whatsoever. He's not a good quarterback at this point. Can that change? Absolutely. It's going to take a whole schematic overload in Denver because they're doing nothing correctly. The running game is a joke, and you just lost the best runner you had, and it showed last night. 4th and 1 on the 5-yard line. There's not a person with an IQ above salad dressing that didn't see him line up under center and go, they're going to run this right up the middle, and they should have. Well, they hadn't run well all day. Okay, then stop me. Stop me. Richard Sherman used my line on Prime. Run the damn ball.
Right.
Can't do it. And then you go to the press conference, and there's no awareness whatsoever. I had a wide open receiver. I didn't see him. Guess we'll try to do better next week. Let's ride.
Last night was just failure after failure after failure for both of these teams. I know we're heaping on Russ Wilson because they lost the game, and he should be taking a lot of the heat for that. But it was also, Matt was awful as well. And you look at both of these teams and go, what are you doing?
There is one huge difference between the two. One gigantic difference between the two.
What's that?
I'll tell you what it is after the break.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Westbound 26 is stop and go between Chimney Rock Road and Highway 191. Westbound delays are between I-26 and US 19, with southbound delays on 19 between Elk Mountain Road and 240. I'm Jack Wiley with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Chucky.
A new season is here, and with it, major delays being reported due to another killer doll with a shady plan. Just how many Chuckies are there? Chucky is here to chuck stuff up, including our freeways. Chucky Season 2, Wednesdays 9/8 Central, only on USA and Sci-Fi.
We all know the game isn't over till it's over. So next time you need parts for your car, don't call it quits. Go to eBay Motors. They have 122 million parts to take your car into overtime. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
The United States Constitution says you have a right to keep and bear arms. That's a quote. It's plain English. But Sherry Beasley opposes your right to self-defense. Beasley was a liberal activist judge. She supports banning firearms in magazines that are owned by tens of millions of law-abiding Americans. Beasley wants to criminalize the private transfer of firearms. That means trading or even loaning guns to your own extended family would require government permission every time. That's how Beasley got endorsed by radical gun control groups. But Ted Budd, he defends your rights. Ted Budd is A-rated and endorsed by the NRA. Ted Budd knows North Carolina gun owners because he is a North Carolina gun owner, firearms dealer, and instructor. Vote freedom first. Elect Ted Budd, U.S. Senate. NRA Victory Fund, Inc. paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. 11250 Waples Mill Road, Fairfax, Virginia, 22030.
Okay, I just saved on some amazing fall style picks at Kohl's, and I need to talk about it. I found myself the cutest tops from Sonoma Goods for Life starting at $15.99. Long sleeve must-haves for my husband starting at under $18. And fun looks for my kids starting at just over $10. Plus, you can take an extra 20% off or save even more with a Kohl's card. So for more fall style and more savings, you gotta get to Kohl's. Select styles, 20% offer ends October 16th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
The grossest Thursday night football game in the history of Thursday night football games last night. Indianapolis wins in overtime over Denver, 12-9. The Denver Broncos have had 3 home games this year, and they've scored 2 touchdowns. Combined. All of those games. That is god-awful, and it begs the question, what is wrong?
What's wrong with Denver?
Yeah.
What's wrong with Denver is very simple. They're not good. But I've heard all of this comparison between Russell Wilson and Matt Ryan, and it doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Matt Ryan's getting lambasted for not being an air-it-out quarterback. That's not what they brought him here to be. Matt Ryan was brought in here to be the veteran quarterback that can win you games that you're not supposed to win. Look at the receiving core. You really think they planned on being a three Bills air raid offense?
No.
They had Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce as their 1 and 2. Love Michael Pittman. Do not get me wrong. Alec Pierce is fine. Mm-hmm. He's a decent receiver in this league. There's nothing special about that. They brought Matt Ryan in here to be a veteran presence. Well, but he's turning the ball over a lot. He always has. This is not new information. He's had double-digit interceptions in virtually every year he's been in the league. Hell, he's got 7 through 5 games. In the last 3 years, he's had 12, 11, and 14. Not new information.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's fumbled 11 times, and he's fumbled a bunch. Now, this is higher. That is happening more often.
Yes.
But you're getting exactly what you should have thought you were getting out of Matt Ryan. This is not you're disappointed in the result, but I don't know why. He's exactly what you thought he would be. Fumbles a little more than you expected, but this is the guy you were getting. It was never going to be anything else.
Mm-hmm.
If you thought you were getting 25-year-old Matt Ryan, I'm sorry, that just was never going to happen.
Well, it's not 25-year-old Matt Ryan that we were expected to see. It was Matt Ryan with some juice left in the arm, and I've seen nothing that tells me he still has some.
All right, so what is he not doing that you expected him to do? They're 5 games in. They have 12 games left.
Scoring touchdowns.
Okay, he's on pace to literally hit the same number of touchdowns he had last year, 6 less than he had the year before that. He's only gone over 30 touchdowns 2 times in his career. This is who he is. Nothing is happening here that is untoward. This is the same quarterback he's always been. He has no receivers now, so it looks ugly because he only has one place to go.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I can go to Jelani Woods, who's just a gigantic mismatch because he's a giant human that runs a 4.5. This team was predicated on playing good defense and running the ball. With no Jonathan Taylor, that's going to look gross because you don't have another speed. You don't have another pitch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about the money. I don't care about any of those things. The difference here is the expectation. Matt Ryan's doing exactly what you should have expected him to do. Is it ugly? Yes. Is it gross? Yes. They also have I would say, decent shot to win this division. Is it going to be palatable for you to watch? No. Be real honest. When has it been? When has Matt Ryan ever been somebody that you went, man, I love watching him play football. That's my favorite player to watch in the NFL. You ever heard anybody say that?
No.
No, because that person doesn't exist unless they're related to him. Now, Russell Wilson, on the other hand, is not what I agreed to.
Mm-hmm.
This is not what I gave $245 million to. He is a dynamic playmaker with his legs and with the deep ball. I've already said the deep ball's gone. I don't think that's coming back. You're going to have to figure out a way. They refuse to boot him out. And now that Garrett Bowles is going to be gone for what appears to be 4 to 6 weeks, at least, maybe done for the year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he broke it. Did he break his leg? Quiddy Pay's the one that was out 4 to 6 weeks. Garrett Bowles done for the year. You better figure out how to do it. Because if not, now you have Colt McCoy and you're paying him $245 million. That's where it is. One of these guys is a huge disappointment. One of them is exactly what you thought he should be.
Yeah. And that's the huge difference between the two.
Because people had an expectation, and I don't know where it came from. I don't know where you could have walked into this thinking you were getting anything other than this from Matt Ryan. They called their shot. If they wanted him to go out and throw for 5,000 yards like he did in 2018, I think you might have invested in receiver a little more.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's not like this team didn't have the money to do so.
Mm-hmm. But after you saw last year Carson Wentz put up the numbers that he put up, what was it, 33 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, something like that? He was somewhere in that neighborhood of maybe we can get that out of Matt Ryan. Maybe that's what we can see from Matt.
So you were wanting the Carson Wentz stat line out of Matt Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, close to it.
Well, that's dumb. That would be like looking at this can that's in my hand and going, I want you to be a puppy. Just not a puppy. Sorry, it doesn't have legs, doesn't bark. It's a can. That's what it is.
So they brought Matt Ryan in knowing that he was going to turn the ball over a whole lot.
Unless they're morons.
And he was going to be less than Carson Wentz was last year.
Well, you got 2 second-round picks for Carson Wentz, so that one's not hard to figure out because he's not worth that. They looked at Matt Ryan as you're a vet presence. This is a veteran team. This is not a great division. We're going to have to gross games up because the best player on this team is a running back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you thought you were getting a Matt Ryan that wasn't going to turn the ball over, I don't know what bibbity-bobbity-boop you thought you were going to do. He's done it since he's been in this league. So, I mean, there's only 2 options here. Either you knew this was coming, and now you're just surviving however you have to, or you thought you had some superhuman power to turn this player into something that he's not.
Okay.
I mean, do you disagree with anything I've said here?
No.
Matt Ryan's fumbled the ball 100 times. 100 times. That's not new. The interceptions. Tons of interceptions. So what is happening is you didn't expect.
They're god awful, and they can't score points.
And they're 2-2-1. They're 2-2. You roll your eyes at me. So what was the other expectation? Yeah, I refuse to believe a team that's been as good as the Indianapolis Colts can be as stupid as what you just said. Oh,
What?
we think he's going to go 33-6. Name me the one time he's ever done that in his career. Give you a hint. It was the year they went to the Super Bowl.
I was going to say, I have to imagine it was the MVP year.
Yeah, he went 38 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Other than that, his touchdown to interception ratio has never consistently been better than 2-1. That's who he is. That's who he is. He was a reasonably cheap quarterback that you could go get. They've done this now 4 years in a row. Jacoby Brissett, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan. They do not prioritize this position, and it is super obvious because they think they can grind it out running the ball. And you know what? Should this team be 2-2-1? Fact or fiction, they should be worse than that.
They should be worse than that.
And if they had Carson Wentz, I could argue that they probably would be. Stats might look better, might be more fun to watch. I fully believe Carson Wentz would have lost last night. Not because Matt Ryan did anything special, because he did what they asked him to do. You have a target. It's a good target, but it's one.
Michael Pittman.
That's it. You don't have anything else. I mean, do we want it to be more than that? Sure.
Absolutely.
Nobody with an IQ above salad dressing thought this was going to be anything, I mean, sure, better than this. This is what you should have seen coming.
I did not. I did not see this coming.
And I guess that's my question. Why? What did you think was going to change? His weapons are less in Indianapolis than they were in Atlanta virtually the entire time he was there.
Look, I don't know what I expected from Matt Ryan. I'm not I never expected like MVP type numbers from Matt Ryan, but I thought at least his presence would be some kind of a generator, an excitement generator for this team. It has come in and he is, I mean, this is one of the most boring teams in the NFL.
Yep, they don't
and
care.
You got the Indianapolis Colts, you got the Chicago Bears, and the Houston Texans.
And what you just said is why
Broncos.
this is deemed a failure. The Indianapolis Colts can continue winning games the way they are right now. Straight up. It's ugly, it's not fun to watch, and they do not care. Now, you look at Russ, on the other hand, he's got weapons galore.
Oh, yeah.
You got Cortland Sutton that was a reasonably high draft pick. Jerry Jeudy was a first-rounder. Okwuegbunam's a guy they highly believe in. They drafted Greg Dulcich. KJ Hamler, they've got draft capital wrapped up in. They have 2 running backs, one that went in the beginning of the second round, another that's been a Pro Bowler. They expected the offense to carry them. If the defense is good, gravy on the taters. That makes us a Super Bowl contender. I expected Russ to carry us. And right now, statistically, they're the exact same guy.
Absolutely.
That's why one is a gross disappointment, and the other, you just had your expectations too high.
Yeah, far be it from me to feel sorry for a billionaire, but as they kept showing Rob Walton up in the skybox last night, I kept thinking, what the hell did he sign up for? You're telling me I spent $4.65 billion for this?
Yeah, that's exactly what you did.
Nathaniel Hackett, gone. Out of here. See you later.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't point this out. Do you remember when this trade happened? Everybody lost their mind and went, oh, Denver's a Super Bowl contender now.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember what I said?
Yeah.
How's this any different from Seattle? Oh, it's not.
It's not. It's not any different. And I'm just waiting for the shoes to drop.
Because I don't know what shoe you think is going to drop.
Because I think they're both coming for both of these teams.
I don't agree with you.
Really?
Indianapolis, certainly. Indianapolis, you have to get your mind right of what they're trying to do. They're either the worst roster-building team on the planet. I think Chris Ballard's one of the 5 best GMs in this league. So either he's become an idiot as if from nowhere, or this is going loosely how he thought it was going to. We're winning games. You don't like watching it? Great. I don't care.
I don't care.
Now, Denver, on the other hand, I don't know what shoe you think is going to drop. We have 18 coaches in the last, I want to say 35 years that have lasted one season or less. You know what all of them had in common?
What's that?
There was no $245 million quarterback. Not one. Because the arranged marriage here, who's signing up for this? You tell me what high-level coach is looking at this going, oh, well, they fired Nathaniel Hackett after a year. Oh, yeah, let me go do that. With a quarterback that can't throw deep. Yeah, I'll pass.
So they're stuck with Nathaniel Hackett is what you're saying.
You've made a bad decision, and now you have to make the best of it. You want me to tell you? And I can tell you exactly how to do it. You're going to have to do that thing that Russ did to get here. Russell Wilson, immobile, is not a good NFL quarterback. I mean, I can give you stats for the next 30 minutes of why that is. He's not a great thrower of the football. He never has been. But he was a threat. He was hard to scheme against. That is why the league is moving to more and more quarterbacks that can hurt you with their feet. Are they risky? Yes, because they tend to get hurt at a much higher level. That's where the game is. Name me a high-level quarterback that's no threat with their feet. None. Joe Burrow, maybe. Tom, and you see how that's aging.
Right.
I mean, yeah, he's 45 years old. I get that.
Took a while for it to age. Yeah.
That's no doubt, because the game is changing. But now if Russ thinks he's going to be the last of a dying breed of the statue quarterback, I got a bridge to sell you, because you're not that guy and you never have been.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. When we come back from the break, we'll get weird.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Dry cold front on its way in. Drop the numbers for the weekend. We've got some clouds tonight, but I don't think we'll see much in the way of precip chances here as the front clears us. 45 our low in the valley. Then sunny, breezy, cooler, lower humidity for Saturday and Sunday. High temps in the low 60s. Nighttime lows in the 30s. Saturday night and Sunday night, I think we'll be just above freezing in the valley, but below freezing with elevation. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Westbound 26 is stop and go between Chimney Rock Road and Highway 191. We're also looking at westbound delays on I-40 between Patton Cove Road and Porter Cove. On 40 westbound, we're also heavy between 240 and US 23. 19 southbound is stop and go between Elk Mountain Road and 240. I'm Jack Wiley with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Your burrito prayers have been answered. Taco Bell's double steak grilled cheese burrito is back with that juicy steak smothered in nacho cheese with a 3-cheese blend that's grilled on top. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores for a limited time only. Hours and participation vary. Double the steak claim as compared to the steak quesadilla.
Have you ever felt depressed about work, only to have your dad be like, "Why are you so down?" So you told him you hate your job, and he said, "Well, you better talk yourself out of it." And then you thought, I love to talk. I could host a podcast. And then you went to Spreaker from iHeart and started a podcast and got good at it. Then monetized it, then quit your boring job, then told your dad, "Thanks for the advice." And he was like, "Well, that's not what I meant, and I don't understand what a podcast is, but you seem happy, so that's great, kiddo." You ever do that? Well, you could. At Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker. Ask your dad. You actually don't.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here in the Ingles Studio. And 2 Florida men have been arrested in Flagler County after they were caught doing something they shouldn't have been doing. 3:15 in the morning, 2 guys are outside of a barbecue restaurant with headlamps on. Obviously, when cops drive by, that's a pretty weird scene. I mean, you're not wearing like construction uniforms, or you're not there fixing the power. What could you possibly be doing? Well, apparently these 2 guys, they were stealing something that is very important to their business model, and I don't think too important to the barbecue restaurant's business model. They were stealing all the used cooking oil. They had a box truck with canisters inside of it. Now, you've heard people doing this with, like, gasoline.
Yep.
You show up at the gas station, you're pumping it into the box truck, into these containers. They were taking the used cooking oil because they run a business that takes cooking oil, recycles it, and makes biofuels. Diesel fuel, whatever. They stole 7,000 gallons of the cooking oil. Street value. What would you put the street value at used cooking oil at?
7,000 gallons of
7,000 gallons.
$85,000?
You're way too high.
Way too high?
You're way too high. And I thought it was crazy.
I was pushing it up from years ago.
$5,000.
Oh, wow.
$5,000 for used cooking oil? To me, that sounds absolutely insane.
That's too high?
That's too high.
Oh, no, it's not too high.
I'll give you $10. I'll give you $10. You give me the cooking oil. I'll figure something out.
Yeah, you're not way too high. I'm shocked it's that low.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Just for the cooking oil, not processed, not made into something usable yet.
No, but it can be refiltered, and it's I want to say it's $15 a gallon.
Right.
Brand new.
Jeez, these guys, like I said, had the headlamps on. They had bolt cutters and a pry bar and the pump and the big truck. They are obviously facing charges, and I'm pretty sure this is probably the end of their business. Not sure how many people want to do business after they find out that they're stealing the cooking oil rather than, collecting it honestly.
It's crimes. Don't do crimes.
Oh, it's absolutely crimes.
Police in Newport, Oregon have had to warn the public to not pick up random things that they find on the beach.
Okay.
Sounds like a very basic, just don't do that.
Yeah.
Well, that's not why this is a story. The reason it's a story is because there were a handful of what appeared to be hand grenades that washed up on the beach.
A handful?
It was a handful. They found 4, and they think there might be more. And these devices were discovered with labels attached to them that read, "Warning, explosive." Well, they weren't actually explosives. These were simulators that are used for bomb squads.
Okay.
So they make the noise of a hand grenade. And it says, simulator, hand grenade, M116A1.
So you pull the pin and it just goes,
boom! Yeah. Well, apparently there's nothing actually nefarious about it.
Okay.
But it's very, very loud. And if you don't explode it the right way, you can hurt yourself quite badly because there is gunpowder in this thing.
Okay.
So you can burn yourself by setting it off.
So it is an incendiary device. To a point.
I don't actually know what that means, but it makes a very loud noise, and if you don't do it right, you can hurt yourself.
Okay.
And apparently people were just picking it up going, oh, no, it's a hand grenade. No, it's a simulator. That's why it has those words written in very big letters.
Mm-hmm.
Although Oregon, not necessarily one of those states we go to for the higher learning.
But they just washed up on the beach.
Mm-hmm. Apparently they were being moved, and a box fell off a boat. The only problem, and I'm glad you asked that because that was a part of the story I forgot, they don't know what else was in this box. So they know they lost these because they didn't have any simulators for when the bomb squad had to do trainings. Well, then they wash up and they go, well, figured it out. The only problem is they have no idea what else was in the box. And they don't know what they're missing to figure out what was in the box.
What was in the box?
What was in the box?
You've never even seen that movie,
No,
have you?
but I've heard that line so many times that I know it's funny for some reason.
Oh.
Is that from Seven?
Seven, yeah. It's a great movie.
Then you like cut somebody's head off or something like that. There's a head in the box.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's in the box.
Spoiler alert from a movie that came out 25 years ago.
Yeah, I don't think you can throw out spoilers for that.
Yeah, Brad Pitt's wife's head was in the box.
Oops.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, you got to brush up on your horror flicks. It's Halloween season. Come on.
I am going to let the reprehensibles pick my Halloween costume this year. There's a very pro wrestler lean on it this year.
Oh no, is this the Hick Flair costume?
No.
Idea?
No. That will come out later in the year. That's already being worked on. I'm talking about my costume. Like, what am I going to wear?
Okay, so last year you were Forrest Gump.
Correct. And here's the thing. You have to understand that you have to steer into one great big limitation of my face. I am not cutting not one hair off of my head.
I've tried to get you to, and I know your wife has. So
you know, it's funny. You've lost HWA now. And she's steered into it. Okay. And she's like, just stop shaving the sides. Okay. I can agree to that. Seems to be a reasonable request.
Ugh. I feel so alone.
Oh, you're just upset because there's more hair in my drain than there is on your head.
Again, yes, you're not wrong. It's just it gets to a point where it goes, all right, dude, I don't even know what you're trying to do anymore.
Okay, so the Jets play the Dolphins this weekend.
Yeah.
Look for Tyler Conklin to take his helmet off. That's the goal.
That's what you're going for?
That's where we're headed.
Oh, my gosh.
Just Gnarls Barkley.
Gross.
Oh, yeah, it's going to get grosser by the day.
Absolutely
gross. So far, the best ideas that I have heard across the shows that I have done. Macho Man Randy Savage, which Amy has already agreed to be my Miss Elizabeth. I like that idea.
Okay.
$1 Million Man Ted DiBiase.
Okay.
I will so buy the belt for that. I will buy the $400 replica belt for that. I'm not averse at all, and I will leave it on my desk for the rest of time.
Nice.
But I'm open to suggestions.
Mm-hmm. So you're hoping for wrestler?
No, that's the two that I've liked so far.
Okay.
Because they both involve me not cutting not one hair on my head. Putting it in a box. If you're going to have to steer into the beard, you're going to have to steer into the hair. And I will dye my hair.
Mm-hmm.
I have no issue with that.
Ooh, that could be interesting.
Yeah, I will dye my hair. I will just not cut it. I learned that a few years ago.
Please, somebody come up with something where Jeremy has to dye his hair blonde.
I'll dye it platinum blonde. I don't care.
You got to bleach that sucker.
I don't care. Only problem is, just remember this. You actually actively said the problem with this. I have already stated that I will be breaking out a character later in the year named Hick Flair.
Yes.
If I dye my hair platinum blonde, do you not think I'm going to let the roots grow out? Do you not think that would steer in better than what I'm planning on doing here?
That's awful.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Uh-huh. Wow. I'm still just pissed. I'm pissed about last night.
Why?
That Thursday night football game was so awful.
What happened that you weren't expecting? I screamed over through the gambling segment the entire time we talked about it.
Here's the thing. Nothing Nothing happened last night that really surprised me. I just thought there's no chance it's going to be as bad as it is in my head.
I'm just angry that I didn't listen to myself. Of Vegas is telling me where to go here.
Ugh.
They're telling me to take Indianapolis, and I'm not doing it. And I should have.
And you should have. You absolutely should have. Somebody mentioned in the comments, by the way, you kept saying, and Indianapolis keeps winning games. Well, you know they were given the Kansas City game. So
did they win it, yes or no?
Sure they did.
You are what your record says you are. I grew up with Bill Parcells. This should not be that hard to figure out.
But you think that they can continue to be 500 teams?
Look at the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
The next 5 weeks, they play the Jaguars in Indianapolis,
Mm-hmm.
the Titans. Now, that one is in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
The Commanders, the Patriots, and the Raiders. Then we do get the Eagles. On the backside of that, Steelers, Cowboys, Vikings, Chargers, Giants, Texans. You tell me which one of those teams you're willing to bet your house on that the Colts don't beat them. I'll wait.
Oh, bet your house on?
Yeah, it's the Eagles. End of story. Repeat the line.
That's the only one?
That's the only one. Oh, Indianapolis is going to – that will be a team that you look at and go, my Lord, they're painful to watch. Why are they 10-6-1? Because they shouldn't be.
It's a lot of high hopes.
I actually did the math on this earlier.
Yeah.
They could end with that record and not beat one team that I think finishes this year over 500 other than the Chiefs. They could finish 10-6-1 and not beat another winning team.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. From what I have seen from this team, and obviously things can get better. Jonathan Taylor comes back from injury, finds something. That offensive line has got to play better. I mean, I do believe that Denver is good on the defensive side of the ball, but they're not like world beater, which last night they were in the backfield constantly, harassing Matt Ryan.
The offensive line's awful.
They've got to find something.
I'm not telling you this is good.
I know.
You seem to be misunderstanding that. I'm not telling you this team's good. I'm not telling you this team's palatable to watch. I'm not saying any of those things. The schedule is disgustingly, pathetically bad.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Malik in our YouTube chat said Matt Ryan's fumbled 11 times in 5 games. Mm-hmm. And they're 2-2-1. Think about what I just said. Stop fumbling the ball. What do you think they would be? Ta-da! Black Cats and Hurricanes asked something that I've been wanting to talk about for 5 days.
What's that?
The fishing tournament cheating scandal.
Oh, God.
Have you seen these videos?
Yeah, where they put weights inside the fish.
And fillets inside the fish. First of all, you care entirely too much about a fishing tournament.
Absolutely, because now they're talking about criminal charges against these guys.
Well, because it's fraud. So you stole money from these people. And that's that's crimes, and obviously we tell you on the show, don't do crimes.
But did they win? Did they accept money?
Apparently they had won a slew of times, and they think they've done this a lot.
Gotcha. Okay.
Here's my more broad-reaching take on this, which is I've been wanting to say for several days now. You got a set of stones on you, and maybe it's I grew up in the mountains of western North Carolina or the West Virginia in me. There are just certain groups of people that you should not subject yourself to being the target of their ire. And a bunch of walleye fishermen, that's one that frankly, the fact that you're still of this earth, it should be enough for you to go, I'm good, I'll take whatever punishment. I don't care. The fact that Billy Ray and Bubba Dean and Billy Bob Frank didn't just demolish me, that's enough. That's enough. And I'm not saying every fisherman's name is what I just said. I'm not saying that.
Right.
I'm just saying that at every fishing tournament, and my father participated in them when I was a child, I thought immediately of about 10 people that I've known since I was just a boy. And, yeah, you wouldn't have made it out of that alive.
Right.
You would have probably ended up in that lake, maybe filled with weights and fillets yourself.
I mean, I guess it is a profitable venture if you can win these tournaments. There is big money on the line at fishing tournaments all across this country. So I can understand that if they did win and they accepted all this money, then yes, that's fraud. We need to investigate whether or not they've done this elsewhere. It's a fishing tournament. Who cheats at a fishing tournament?
Oh, all the time.
Oh, I know they do.
And trust me, I was not making up what I just said. Growing up, my father was a high-level bass fisherman. I know these people. I never got the skill for this. I'm not good at it. I'm not patient enough for it.
It's one of the things I never understood.
But I know these people, and there are just certain times that you should go, I'm going to mind my P's and Q's, because they all have blades in their boats, and they're not afraid to use them.
Yeah, pulling out weights and all kinds of stuff from these fish. And, like, how did you think you were going to get away with that?
Apparently they're going to away with it for a long time. What I don't understand is, how do you look at a fish this size and go, 19 pounds? Man, that's a fat 19-pound fish. Where is the weight in this fish?
He carries it well.
You know what?
Yeah.
That fish must have a real good metabolism.
It's never something I was able to say.
Nope.
I was never able to say, well, I mean, I'm overweight, but I carry it very, very well. Just not in the cards for me. You know what is in the cards? Bangers.
Bangers, let's
That's
go.
Right. It's a Football Friday here on ESPN Asheville, and it is time for the first of the 2 gambling segments that we'll have for you today. Jeremy's Bangers coming up next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Westbound 26, stop and go between Chimney Rock Road and Highway 191. We're heavy southbound on Highway 19 between Elk Mountain Road and 240. I-40 westbound, stop and go between Patton Cove and Porter Cove, with westbound delays also between 240 and US 19. I'm Jack Wiley with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance, where you only pay for what you need. Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance coverage. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Visit libertymutual.com to learn more.
Bundling car and renter's insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. So why not ask? Just say,
hey, did you get your hair cut? It looks cool. Also, have you saved even more by bundling with Geico?
Or maybe,
hey, did you get your hair cut? It looks weird. Not weird, cool. Anyway, have you bundled with Geico?
Or try,
hey, did you get your hair cut? It doesn't look weird at all. Anywho, have you saved by bundling with, hey, easy with that rake?
Bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
Sure, we have 30 seconds to tell you that drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. But then what? We could romance the legal copy. It never gets the attention it deserves. And some lawyer worked real hard on it. So take it away, lawyer.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2020. Potential savings will vary.
Now that was some beautiful legal. Well done, lawyer. Well done.
There's a lot of talk about the COVID-19 vaccines, and everyone has an opinion. So I went to somebody I already trusted, my doctor. Talk to your doctor or healthcare provider and make the decision that's right for you. Go to getvaccineanswers.org for the latest information. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
This week on the Buncombe County Game of the Week, T.C. Robertson pays a visit to Asheville with crucial playoff seeding on the line. You'll want to catch Sports Tank Friday at 6 and the Bojangles Countdown to Kickoff at 6:30. On AM 1400 and TuscolaRadio.com, the 6-0 Mountaineers continue their run for perfection against East Henderson. Don't miss the Mountaineer pregame show at 7 and kickoff at 7:30. Western North Carolina's best high school football coverage is on 570 WWNC and ESPN Asheville.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Coffee still closes on.
Get him the money. And we get the money.
you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the watch.
Last week, another up and down week. I cannot seem to get above one game over 500. This week, lines are hard this week. I have more favorites this week that I'm really comfortable with. First, NC State's a 3-point favorite at home against Florida State. Let me do you a favor. As a diehard Florida State fan, this game will never be close. It's an angry NC State team. Florida State on the road. The defense is not very good, and this line stinks. NC State minus the 3. Next, Kentucky's a 6-point favorite against South Carolina. Let me say it again. Kentucky is a 6-point favorite against South Carolina, who has Spencer Rattler playing quarterback. I don't care if Will Levis plays. I don't care if Cowboy Will Rodgers plays as the quarterback for the Kentucky Wildcats. This number is stupid. Wildcats minus the 6. Sticking with the Wildcats, Kansas State's a 1.5-point favorite at Iowa State. I don't know what people see in Iowa State. I'm not seeing it. Matt Campbell has lost a ton of talent and has not replaced it. Kansas State's the better team. Give me the Wildcats minus 1.5. Duke is a 3.5-point favorite at Georgia Tech. Our buddy Jones Angel commented on the "we fired our coach" bump. Well, you know what tends to happen that next week? You overvalue that team, and they get slaughtered by somebody that's better than them. That's what will happen here. Blue Devils minus 3.5. Utah's a 3.5-point favorite at UCLA. I don't get it with UCLA. I'm never going to get it. They beat Washington. My ears are still bleeding from watching that game. Utah is going to eviscerate them at the point of attack. Give me Utah minus 3.5. Maryland is a 3-point favorite against Purdue. They will score 28 jillion points. Purdue might score 27 and 80, but it won't be enough to cover the 3. And finally, the Texas Longhorns are an 8.5-point favorite against Oklahoma. That's not nearly enough points with Quinn Ewers. This game will never be close. Oklahoma is down, and think about this. Neutral field, which means you have to spend a lot of doll hairs to get down to Dallas to see it. There will be more Longhorns than there are Sooners. This one's easy. Hook 'em minus the 8.5.
Go and do likewise, gents. The money's out there. You pick it up, it's yours. You don't, I got no sympathy for you.
Take those wagers to betus.com. Use the promo code SPORTSOCRACY. Get that 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put into the account, up to $2,500.
In the next hour, I'm bringing it back. We got bangers at the end of the hour, and I've got a parlay that for $5 will pay you over $2,000, and nobody's more than a 3-point dog.
Stick with us. SportsCenter's next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Dry cold front on its way in. Drop the numbers for the weekend. We've got some clouds tonight, but I don't think we'll see much in the way of precip chances here as the front clears us. 45 our low in the valley. Then sunny, breezy, cooler, lower humidity for Saturday and Sunday. High temps in the low 60s. Nighttime lows in the 30s. Saturday night and Sunday night, I think we'll be just above freezing in the valley, but below freezing with elevation. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
26 westbound is stop and go between Asheville Highway and Long Shoals. We're also looking at westbound delays between Highway 9 and Patton Cove Road, with southbound delays on US 19 between Elk Mountain Road and 240. 26 eastbound is heavy between Highway 191 and New Airport Road, with westbound delays on 240 between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. I'm Jack Wiley with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mucinex Fast Max Cold and Flu All-in-One. Skip the symptoms, not the celebration.
Celebrate comeback season with Mucinex Fast Max Cold and Flu All-in-One. Its maximum strength formula tackles up to 9 cold and flu symptoms. Try Mucinex All-in-One and get $5 cash back to celebrate your comeback. Visit fastmaxcashback.com to learn more. Use as directed.
Staples Print and Marketing Services help small businesses create bold signs to make big impressions. Right now, get $10 off custom printed signs, banners, and posters when you spend $50 or more. Offer ends 12/31. Visit staples.com/thisisyoursign for details. This is your sign to print big at Staples.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville.
Hello there. I'm Mark Robbins. Let's get you caught up. Day one of the Major League Baseball postseason. Cardinals trying to shut down the Phillies and close things out in Game 1, up 2-0 in the top of the ninth, but the Phillies have the tying runs on with 2 out. Now in Toronto, it is Seattle that has jumped on the Blue Jays with 3 in the first. Cal Raleigh knocking in 2 with a home run. The Mariners in the bottom of the third lead at Toronto 3-0. And, of course, those games, Phillies-St. Louis game on ABC, and it is Toronto and Seattle on ESPN, both on ESPN Radio. Earlier today, Cleveland knocking off Tampa Bay 2-1 is the final. And coming up later on, it is the Mets and the Padres, and that game from New York. In the NFL, the Broncos now losing just more than an overtime game with last night with the Colts. Offensive tackle Garrett Bowles fractures his leg. Ronald Darby tore his ACL. Both done for the season.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Eric Kendricks, 8-year linebacker with the Minnesota Vikings.
Let's ride.
I don't want you to say that.
Yeah. Get more from the guys Monday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy live in the Ingles studio on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. You can take us with you everywhere you go just by looking us up on the iHeartRadio app, either ESPN Asheville or the Sportsocracy. We got all of the podcasts up there. You can listen to us live or on demand, and it's absolutely free. That's the great part about the iHeartRadio app. You can see us on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. And it's a football Friday, and it's the third hour of the program, so it's time for the daily draft. And as we do on Fridays, it's all about where we're going. If you could go anywhere in the world,
money is no object.
Exactly. Money, no object. What's getting your dollars? Where are your eyeballs going to be this weekend around the football landscape?
And I'm going to be a nice guy.
Okay.
Because you, in my opinion, quite delusionally think you won yesterday. So I will give
Kenny
you the
Pickett.
first pick.
Kenny Pickett sunk your draft yesterday.
Quarterbacks. Always remember quarterbacks.
Always remember the quarterbacks.
Remember quarterbacks.
Yesterday we took rookies of the year candidates in the NFL. What?
I bought the wrong energy drink earlier. Didn't know that. That was a lovely little surprise.
But now you like it.
That's
good.
That's very lovely.
Very lovely.
Anything with berries in it. That's almost invariably going to be something I like.
Yeah, Jeremy's last pick was Kenny Pickett, and I don't see any shot that he wins Rookie of the Year.
It's fine. It's misguided. No big deal. You know, if Kenny Pickett's good, he'll win. It was a throwaway because I feel like I'd already won, but I'm a nice guy. Nothing if not malleable.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to give me first pick.
Correct.
In today's daily draft. Of all the games this weekend, where would I want to be the most?
I feel like you're going to get this wrong.
I'm going to, because honestly, I'm looking at the slate going, there's nothing I'm really dying to see.
Oh, there's a slew of them for me.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There's one that you could not take here at 1, and I will immediately follow you and go, yep, I'm doing that.
Okay, well, I'm going to start in the NFL. It's the only game of the week.
Already got it wrong.
Yep, it's the only game of the week in the NFL. It's the Baltimore Ravens hosting the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's one I would like.
That's where I'm going. To me, that's the only NFL game.
I can't agree with that. There could be fun, if for nothing else, because I'm a degenerate gambler and I love domestic lights.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some others that I would thoroughly enjoy. I mean, that is without a doubt the best game of the NFL schedule.
Yes.
And thank God it's in a prime time. I feel like we've been in a run of just really primetime games.
It's the best game on the NFL schedule, but I could also see this game just getting out of hand.
Which way?
For Cincinnati. I don't think it gets out of hand the other way.
I don't see that. I think this is going to be a good – first of all, I am killing the over. I don't give a lot of under picks,
mm-hmm.
mainly because that's super degenerate. Do you know what the number is in this game?
Oh, the over-under? No.
What would it be for you?
54.
It's 47.5, and to me, that is stupid.
Okay.
They may beat that in the first 3 quarters.
It's quite possible.
Because I don't really love either one of these defenses, but I really like both of these offenses.
I mean, I think the Cincinnati defense is good.
Trey Hendrickson's very well.
I think the Baltimore defense is good-ish.
They just don't get pressure. This is one of those games.
They don't get pressure, and their back half has been just demolished.
This is one of those games where Baltimore have to change the public narrative. Because what's killing them is that they're not getting home to quarterbacks, which is asking their secondary to do too much. Cincinnati's offensive line has not been good. Odafe Owa and Jason Pierre-Paul, they should be able to get home in this game, and if they do, that makes me lean towards Baltimore wins this. I do not understand why they're a 3.5-point favorite. That is surprising to me. That means Cincinnati would be less than a field goal favorite at home, and that is stupid.
And I guess it's just the stats for Joe Burrow have been muted so far this year, and it's not as eye-popping as you would expect. Jamar Chase hasn't been as...
He's throwing for 275 a game. I mean, it hasn't been the video game numbers, but...
That's what people are expecting, though.
That's because they're leaning on Joe Mixon so much. He's got a ton of touches. But I agree with you. That is the best NFL game of the week.
Yep. All right, so what is your go-to college game for the weekend?
Where I'm going. Mine, it's the big noon, or should be the big noon kickoff. I don't think it is. But it's where our game day friends are. I'm going to Lawrence, Kansas.
Oh, my gosh.
Let's go. Rock Chalk Jayhawk, TCU and Kansas.
Kansas and TCU, where the first 1 to 50 wins.
Well, I mean, look, we said this earlier in the year. First of all, over-under in that game, 69. That's one that you should probably be hitting the over. They might have hit that by halftime. We said this earlier this year, that College Game Day should have gone to Lawrence for Duke, Kansas.
Yes.
Now, they went to App State. I think they got that right. They got another chance here. That place is going to be just bonkers. That's a place that I feel like you could slide in on a aeroplane this evening, land down there about 10 o'clock, and you may not sleep until Monday.
You're going to find some partying going on. It's obviously, it's a basketball community, but give them a reason. Give them a reason to get excited during football season, and Lord knows where that could take you.
Well, I mean, you also got to realize this is a 5-0 Kansas team. Not only are they 5-0, and they haven't been good in many years, since the Charlie Weiss era. Charlie Weiss was about as likable as a hemorrhoid. So even though you were good, you couldn't really relish in it. You cannot not like Lance Leipold. That's just not possible. The more you hear him talk, the more you like him. So to me, that's going to be an electric atmosphere. I think it's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow morning with game day, and I'm looking forward to the game.
Okay. Coming up in the bangers at the end of the show.
Just saying, the big dog has been eating aggressively this year.
All right, so Jeremy's going number 17 TCU, number 19 Kansas in Lawrence. Where off to next?
And maybe I'm being a little biased. But this is one of the more interesting games, although I'm not sure how palatable it's going to be to watch. I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to watch BYU and Notre Dame.
Okay.
First of all, college game in that stadium, that's a win. Especially if it doesn't involve UNLV. Yes, I know they're 4-1. No, I don't care. You tell me I get to watch a college game in Vegas. Those BYU UFC-themed uniforms are sweet. And I get to be in Vegas. And I think that game tells you a lot. BYU is a team that could crash the New Year's Six. And a win over Notre Dame would go a long way.
But at the end of the year, does it get looked at like that? Because they've already lost to Marshall. And so...
Yeah, but it's not really the Notre Dame part of this that I care about. I mean, Notre Dame's going to travel well. That's fine. BYU has a schedule that's probably good enough that they could get into the New Year's Six. And that team's good. I want to see Jaron Hall. It's a quarterback whose name you're going to hear on this show. I have a feeling a whole mess of times between now and the end of April. And in a less than ideal week where you got to kind of find a little beauty in the eye of the beholder, that's one that I found.
Obviously, picking up the win against Baylor was huge for this team. Keeps them relevant in the top 25. They did get demolished by Oregon,
and that game wasn't as bad as the score shows.
And then they've got a game against Arkansas.
Well, I mean, be honest with yourself. A team that has a win over Baylor would have a win over Notre Dame and a win over Arkansas. But none of them were on the road. I don't care. Cincinnati got in last year, and their best win was the fact that they beat Central Florida.
Oh, sure. I mean, if you're gonna, we've already seen the process get corrupted, and yes, I'm using that term because there's no reason Cincinnati should have been in it last year.
And you knew that within a quarter.
Of course,
I'm not saying they're going to make the playoff. To me, the playoff is as set as the playoff could possibly be.
You're just talking New Year's Six bowl.
Yeah, you wind up in the Cotton Bowl.
Wow. And here's the thing. Notre Dame still favored in this game. And I know we don't solely rely on this, but the old FPI, the Football Power Index on ESPN, has Notre Dame a 70% chance to win this game.
Yeah, the FBI also thought people cared about Aaron Judge. I don't really trust that scale at this point. Make them laugh, make them laugh.
They do play, though. BYU plays East Carolina coming up in a few weeks. That might you're gonna throw some weight behind.
I'm just saying.
Your former coach on that
my history of wagering on the Fighting Mike Houston's is pretty good, especially when they're dogs.
Speaking of dogs, Old Smokey goes down to Louisiana this weekend.
I thought your hatred of Tennessee would let that come back to me.
No, it's not gonna. Because here's the thing. Tennessee is a good football team. They are exciting to watch on offense. And you can't give it. Look, I know it's not the perfect scenario. The perfect scenario, of course, for any game in Baton Rouge is going to be a nighttime game. You want to see it under the lights in Death Valley, all of that. So maybe this is the perfect time, though, if you've never been introduced to that environment. It'll be the perfect time to go see a game at LSU where, they're not completely wasted. I mean, they're going to be wasted plenty by noon. I know when a noon game comes around in Baton Rouge, they start tailgating at, 3 a.m. But Tennessee, LSU, SEC battle, look, I look for Tennessee to blow their doors off. But it's still an atmosphere worth watching. So, number 8, Tennessee at LSU, 12 o'clock game. That's where I would be going. First game here in the college slate. Then, after that, I want to go to Miami. I really do. Because I want to see if Miami is as bad as they have shown. And I want to see if this can be the moment. Because I feel like we're there. Like the hype has come, just like for NC State last week. The hype has come for Carolina. Of you want to take control of the Coastal, you're going to go to Miami, and you're going to win.
Oh, God, you're going to Miami Stadium by choice?
I'm going.
Oh, there's a urinal somewhere that you could just hang out in if
Look, I've never been there.
I have.
I've never been there.
And you
never been to a game there.
At ESPN Draft Nerd, at me. I'll tell you my experiences. I can't say them necessarily in this microphone.
I want to see the Tar Heels beat Miami on their home turf. I think they're going to get it done. And the legend of Drake May continues.
It's been a lot of love on Miami this week. A lot of high-level prognosticators seem to be taking the Hurricanes because apparently they haven't watched the Hurricanes.
Yeah, but I don't know that they've seen the offense of the Hurricanes be able to go up against a team as bad on defense as the Tar Heels have been.
Smoked by Middle Tennessee State. 5 words, and end of message, repeat the line. At home. Well, I'm glad you did that because I wasn't going to Miami under any circumstances. I've been there. I've seen me do it, and I didn't leave anything there that I really want back, so I'm good. But the timing's perfect. I'm going to use the commercial break, get my thoughts in order, make sure I take home the dub here.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Westbound 26 at a near standstill between Asheville Highway and Long Shoals. We are looking at delays on 26 eastbound between Highway 191 and Long Shoals. And look out for westbound delays on I-40 between Patton Cove Road and Porter Cove Road. US 19 southbound slow between Riverside Drive and 240. I'm Jack Wiley with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Audible. This fall, find everything you love listening to on Audible. From memoirs and true crime to celebrities and sci-fi. Audible is the home of storytelling, audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
The United States Constitution says you have a right to keep and bear arms. That's a quote. It's plain English. But Sherry Beasley opposes your right to self-defense. Beasley was a liberal activist judge. She supports banning firearms and magazines that are owned by tens of millions of law-abiding Americans. Beasley wants to criminalize the private transfer of firearms. That means trading or even loaning guns to your own extended family would require government permission every time. That's how Beasley got endorsed by radical gun control groups. But Ted Budd, he defends your rights. Ted Budd is A-rated and endorsed by the NRA. Ted Budd knows North Carolina gun owners because he is a North Carolina gun owner, firearms dealer, and instructor. Vote freedom first. Elect Ted Budd, U.S. Senate. NRA Victory Fund, Inc. paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. 11250 Waples Mill Road, Fairfax, Virginia 22030.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man.
We are in the middle of the daily draft here on ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy on a football Friday as we get you ready for the weekend. And we're picking the games that we would go to if money were no object. We could get anywhere in the country or around the world. We do have an international game this week, so that one's included as well.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and tell you it's not on the board for me.
No,
I'm not going to jolly old England to see the Giants and the Packers.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah, sorry. West Virginia feller can't. It's the best you're going to get. Right? Sounds like Michael Caine with a sinus infection. I got it.
If we were going anywhere, where would we go this weekend in football? So far, I'm through 3 picks. I got the Baltimore-Cincinnati game, Tennessee at LSU, and Carolina at Miami. Jeremy so far has gone TCU at Kansas, BYU versus Notre Dame in Las Vegas. What's next?
I'm sticking in college. I think this game could – there is a possibility – there's only 2 ranges of outcomes here. Either this game stays close and the home team wins, or it's an absolute annihilation and the home team wins.
Are you going to Tuscaloosa?
Nope. I'm going Puppy Fingers.
Oh.
I'm going to Raleigh, North Carolina.
Wow. All right. FSU at NC State.
This is one of those that I think NC State gets right after Clemson. I still believe in that team. I just think you caught a bit of a buzzsaw. You were in Clemson at night, nationally televised game, and the spot was too big for you. There's no judgment there. But this is a game that if you are who you say you are, you have to win this game and you have to win it convincingly. I am a diehard, lifelong Florida State fan, and I will go ahead and tell you I think that's going to happen. Because this Noles defense is bad, especially stopping the run. However, Jared Verse, he a dog. He will be discussed quite a bit when in the draft process.
Gotcha.
He is good at the footballs. I think he was playing about 30% last week against Wake Forest. He was about the only player that could get pressure on Sam Hartman. He could barely walk, and he was the only one that could get pressure.
8 o'clock Saturday night in Raleigh. Then where are you going?
Maybe it's the ambiance. Maybe it's the food. Maybe it's Monday Night Football. I am going to Kansas City. I am going to see the Las Vegas Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
There is a possibility that game is better than we think.
I mean, it's a possibility. It is a division rivalry game.
And as Asheville Police Chief Zack said, the Raiders always play the Chiefs well. That's one thing you have to remember in some of these, not all, but some of these divisional rivalry games. They're always close. You do not see a ton of blowouts in these games. And for me, that'd be fun. A little Monday Night Football. See Pat Mahomes probably throw for 578 yards. Derek Carr may throw for 450.
Okay. I don't want to do this because I'm already going to Tennessee. But I feel like I have to. I feel like I have to go to Tuscaloosa. Number 1 Alabama against Texas A&M. 8 o'clock game, Bryant-Denny Stadium. It's a hell of an atmosphere, and you know that there has been one game circled on the schedule for Nick Saban this year, and it's the Texas A&M game. He lost to Texas A&M last year. There was all the back and forth between him and Jimbo in the offseason talking about NIL and all that kind of stuff. I feel like he is out to prove a point. Now, I'm curious, do you care, Jeremy, if Bryce Young plays in this game or not?
Nope.
No, you don't. Alabama will roll regardless.
Oh, no doubt. Oh, and I think Vegas has this game gruesomely wrong. And this is one of those games that my bookmaker friends have always called these catch-all games of there is literally nothing we can do because we know exactly how this is going to go. But if we set it out there the way we think, the public will annihilate us on the other side. The over-under in that game is 49. Alabama's a 23-point favorite. So that means the Vegas score is 36-13. Alabama will have 36 points in the first half. This is one of those that you are not going to see them pull their foot off the accelerator. This is going to be, hey, Jimbo, you have a very loud mouth, and we're going to shut you up for 365 calendar days. I could see Alabama winning this game 63-6. You got to remember, I grew up watching a team that loved situations like this. Oh, you get yippy at us? We're exponentially better than you are? and you call us on the carpet, and now you play us in a primetime game, one of the few CBS primetime games of the year? Oh, just wait. We will show no mercy, and there will be blood.
I think there's going to be a lot of blowouts around college football this weekend. But I'm still going to this game anyway because it's such the rivalry that the game in and of itself, it just sets itself apart. You got Oklahoma and Texas in the Red River rivalry.
How sad is that lasted to the 9th pick?
Well, I mean, Oklahoma did just get dusted by TCU.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, Oklahoma is the most down program in all of college football.
Okay.
Name one worse.
From where the expectation was?
Nope. Just down, period. Name me a school that you feel worse right now than you feel at Nebraska or at Oklahoma.
At Nebraska.
You're crazy. They've been in that place for years. Oklahoma thought, we're a national title contender. And people like me sat back and went, oh, this is going to hurt. Oh, this is going to hurt so bad. I mean, I had a ton of people at me on Twitter. Brent Venables going to lead us to a title. What kind of title? Most disappointing team in America? I think you've already locked that one up.
Could very well be.
It's a joke.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that would scare me if I was Oklahoma, this is played in the Cotton Bowl. Which fan base you think's traveling?
Oh, it's not
Oklahoma. How many Oklahoma Sooner fans do you think are looking at each other packing the car right now going, man, I can't wait to get to Dallas to watch our Oklahoma Sooners. Boomer Sooner, woohoo!
I mean, you're still going to have your diehards. If you got tickets for this game, you're still going.
So, funny you said that. I went down the rabbit hole of the secondary ticket market.
Yeah.
There was a real nice anomaly there, and I had to dig into why it was happening. If you look at the map of available tickets, there's a huge amount of them in one section of the stadium.
In the Oklahoma side?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, the section that was never allowed into Gin Pop, yeah, it seems to be a very easy place to get tickets.
You got the return of Quinn Ewers.
Mulleted, man.
Texas versus Oklahoma. It had to be on the list. So I'll take it last.
All right, I only have one NFL game. And, you're going to say, #no homer. I'm well aware of that. I know it's coming. But there hasn't been hope like this in this stadium in quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
And as somebody that has been to this city to watch this team, when it's good, it's good. It's wild. The domestic lights are flowing. Maybe some fights in the parking lot. Maybe some, what do you got? I'm going with the Dolphins and the Jets.
Dolphins and the Jets.
And this is going to be an unpopular take. I will get my own line set at me, and that's fine. The AFC East is the division most situated to be good for a really, really long time. Because you have 3 teams in that division that are young and talented and cheap.
Mm-hmm. Where's New England fall in that?
A very distant 4th. Not applicable.
Not applicable.
Yeah. New England's looking around going, what are we going to do when Bill leaves? Because there's not a lot for us to feel good about. Jack Jones. You feel good about Jack Jones?
Yep. Ramondre Stevenson.
Another guy I liked in the no big deal. If you got friends in NFL front offices that can't seem to draft Dad in the Western, maybe tell them, hey, there's a mulleted guy. He's not necessarily somebody you want in the boardroom, but he seems to be doing pretty well at this picking players thing. Throwing that out there.
All right, there it is. That's our slate of games. I'm going Baltimore, Cincinnati, Tennessee at LSU, Carolina at Miami, A&M at Bama, and Texas and Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry. Jeremy's got TCU at Kansas, BYU, Notre Dame in Las Vegas. Then he's going to Kansas City to see the Las Vegas Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs. Florida State, homer pick, at NC State. And
how's it a homer pick? I'm going to watch my team get slaughtered.
And then, you just want to see the Seminoles.
No, I don't.
The New York Jets against the Miami Dolphins.
I turned off the game against Wake Forest because I couldn't bear watching it anymore.
Hashtag no homer. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Coming up next, the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Dry cold front on its way in. Drop the numbers for the weekend. We've got some clouds tonight, but I don't think we'll see much in the way of precip chances here as the front clears us. 45 our low in the valley. Then sunny, breezy, cooler, lower humidity for Saturday and Sunday. High temps in the low 60s. Nighttime lows in the 30s. Saturday night and Sunday night, I think we'll be just above freezing in the valley, but below freezing with elevation. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
25 westbound is at a near standstill between Asheville Highway and Long Shoals. Same story 40 westbound between Highway 9 and Patton Cove Road. 26 eastbound stop and go between I-40 and 191. And look out for southbound delays on US 19 between Riverside Drive and 240. I'm Jack Wiley with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. As the leaves change, leave the hiring to Indeed. Their all-in-one hiring platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning, the most trusted and reviewed cleaning company in town. Take advantage of their fall sale going on now. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129 when you mention ESPN Asheville. Easily schedule your cleaning online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
Bundling car and renter's insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. So why not ask? Just say,
"Hey, did you get your haircut? It looks cool. Also, have you saved even more by bundling with Geico?"
Or maybe,
"Hey, did you get your haircut? It looks weird. Not weird, cool. Anyway, have you bundled with Geico?"
Or try,
"Hey, did you get your haircut? It doesn't look weird at all. Anywho, have you saved by bundling with... Hey, easy with that rake."
bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. And it's time for the most important message of the day on a football Friday.
Don't do crimes.
Do not do crimes. And we go to New Jersey for this story. Hudson County Sheriff's Office, open job for a security guard. So I guess you're guarding the sheriff's office. I guess that's what this is. This wasn't like a detective opening or whatever. They're looking for a security guard. And so they're taking applications. And a woman named Ziama Johnson, 27 years old, she is one of the ones that responded to said call for applications. They went through the applications and they ran her name. And here's the problem. She had outstanding warrants. The real funny part about this is that's what the Hudson County Sheriff's Office specializes in is tracking down people with outstanding warrants. This woman had several charges against her: failure to appear in court, fraud charges, 10 bench warrants for failure to appear in court on traffic charges in Jersey City. She had applied for employment as the security guard for the sheriff's office, and after confirming the validity of the warrants, the detective from the sheriff's office took Johnson into custody. Among the property that she had on her at the time, it's what they believed to be 2 stolen credit cards, and she was also charged with credit card theft. Now there is an investigation going on with the United States Postal Service because she used to work there, and that's where they think she might have gotten the credit cards that were stolen. What kind of an idiot knows she has outstanding warrants and is going to apply for a security officer job with the sheriff's department?
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
No! Don't do crimes.
Don't do crimes.
And if you're going to do crimes, don't
apply for jobs with the crime stoppers.
Right, exactly.
Here's another thing you shouldn't do. Calvin Bautista, he's 36 years old. He's a resident of New York City. He smuggled 3 Burmese pythons into the United States at the U.S.-Canadian border. That's obviously crimes. These are very venomous snakes. Mm-hmm. They're very harmful to people, and they are not allowed in this country. That's not why I'm telling the story. I'm telling the story because he smuggled them in his pants.
Oh, nice.
He was arraigned Tuesday in Albany on federal smuggling charges and released pending trial. He luckily was not bitten by these evil things. Stop with the weird animals, okay? Can you not just have a dog? Dogs are cool. They're nice to you. You know, they just lay on the couch next to you. Maybe throw them a bone every once in a while. Why we gotta have weird things? Do you know what the penalty for this is?
No.
Take a stab at it.
10 years in prison.
You're too low.
20?
20. The maximum sentence is 20 years in prison and $250,000 fine.
Well, I mean, think about it. You're bringing venomous snakes into the country. Yeah, okay. It's starting to make sense now.
How much could you possibly make off the sale of this evil critter?
There are weird people out there who really want snakes.
I'll never get that. I'll never understand. Look, I have this evil snake thing that if it ever got out of its cage, it would eat me. It's my pet. I call him George.
Right. Something really weird about because the only reason to have a snake is because you think it's cool to watch it eat stuff. And that's a little morbid.
There are certain there are certain things in life that are a bit of a red flag. As somebody that had a bit of an adventurous time dating, especially in this city, meet a girl, go back to her house. This is my pet snake, George. Okay, I left my house on.
You left your house on?
I left the house on. I have to go turn it off now.
Nice.
I'm going to run away, especially if you have a tattoo of that snake on your arm.
As is always, don't do crimes.
I'll write a book one day. Just all the things that actually happened.
Normally, on a Friday, we'll pick college games against Keenan Nesbitt of the Buncombe County Sheriff's Office. Otherwise, he is busy. So we're going to pick the games anyway. Last week, Jeremy and I tied in week 5.
4-4.
4-4. Just let's go. Jeremy's still the only one who's got a winning record for a week.
Hey, we were like the coin last week. And flip a coin, got a 50-50 shot. This week, I think we'll be a little better.
Okay, let's see how good we can be. Chronological order of the most important games of the weekend. Number 8, Tennessee, in a 12 o'clock kickoff down in Baton Rouge against number 25, LSU. Is there a prayer that LSU can win this game?
Don't sleep on this. Look, I can't go against Tennessee at 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
At 3.5, I was scared. And it tells me that I was right, that this line has moved a point in the last 36 hours. I think this is going to be much closer than people think. Tennessee is really good. I've hopped on the bandwagon. That Hendon Hooker-led offense is really good.
Mm-hmm.
The defense is really inconsistent. And I'm not saying that LSU does a lot of things really well. Jaden Daniels is a different kind of cat when he gets out of the pocket, and Brian Kelly seems to have figured that out in the last 2 weeks. I think it's close. Picking the game outright, Tennessee. But I think this is a game to watch. I think this is one of those that about 2:30 is going to roll around, and in the group threads and all those things. Are you watching this? Like, why is this game so close?
What is wrong with Tennessee?
And it's not something wrong with Tennessee. LSU gets a bad rap because of what happened week 1. That Florida State team's not bad. Hadn't lost a game since. And beat a very talented Mississippi State team, and that game was never really in doubt.
I'm going with Tennessee as well in the battle with the Tigers down in Death Valley. Number 19, Kansas. Number 17, TCU. TCU obviously coming off the big beatdown of Oklahoma last week. They're riding high. And Kansas, I mean, they're undefeated.
They're the Rodney Dangerfield of college football.
Can't get no
respect. I don't know what Kansas has to do. This is one of the – and eventually I'm going to come up with a term for this where you have recently seen TCU do something on a very national stage. What you don't seem to realize is that it's not nearly as impressive as you think it was. Eviscerating Oklahoma, that's not the only time it's going to happen. This number is dumb. I think Kansas is a better team. Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
TCU is a 7-point favorite, and you feel like Kansas got a good shot to start out 6-0.
I have said this multiple times. The big dog for Jeremy has eaten quite nicely. It's what we in the business call a little foreshadowing.
These two teams are very even.
See, I don't think they are. I don't think they are.
Statistically speaking.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm talking about from a on-the-field perspective. Kansas is not getting the respect they deserve because nobody appreciates what they've done. That Duke team is better than you think. That West Virginia team is not bad. That Iowa State team is not bad. They have a bit of a talent deficiency. That's 3 good wins. This is a good Kansas team. And Jalen Daniels is a dog.
I feel like at some point the bubble is going to burst.
I don't.
For the Kansas Jayhawks.
I don't.
You don't? You think they are legit, like,
I think they win the Big 12.
two-loss team?
I think they win the Big 12. Lance Leipold has won everywhere he's gone.
There
are so many transfers on that team. It's insane. They're going to get better as the season goes along, and they're already 5-0. This roster in the spring probably had to wear name tags that said, "Hi, my name is blank," because half of these guys weren't in Lawrence a year ago.
I see this game being a shootout, and I'm going to go with TCU.
Ooh, look at you.
I'm going to take the Horned Frogs to get the victory on the road at Kansas. Texas and Oklahoma.
Oh, this should be short.
Yep.
Oklahoma's poopy.
Yeah.
And Quinn Ewers is going to come in. I said this yesterday. This may be his only shot to play in this game with Arch Manning coming in next year. He's going to try to make himself known. I think they're going to eviscerate Oklahoma. What I said about Alabama of we will score until we get tired of scoring, that could very well be what you see in Texas.
Arkansas takes on number 23, Mississippi State. And one's ranked, one's not. And I think the unranked team's going to win it.
This is one of those games that is why I could never the agita that would come with being a bookmaker. I've been watching The Sopranos, so I don't even know what that term means. I just know they always clutch their chest and say, "I got the agita."
The agita.
I couldn't deal with it personally because if KJ Jefferson plays in this game, Arkansas should be favored. If he doesn't, they shouldn't be this much of a dog. I think he's going to play. He practiced Wednesday. This was a head injury. You don't have the concussion protocol per se the way you do in the NFL. If he practiced, there's nothing else wrong with him. So if he was able to get on a field, not really any reason he shouldn't play. I'm going Hog Pig Suey.
I'm going Arkansas as well, just not buying into the Mississippi State hype here.
Oh, that's a good team.
Will
Rodgers is a good quarterback.
I get it.
He's going to hear his name called in the end of April, I promise you.
Yeah, but I like the Arkansas defense better.
And just something to be known, I am hearing more and more buzz about KJ Jefferson in the first round in the last 2 weeks. Told you there's going to be a slew of them go on day one. KJ Jefferson might be one of them.
Number 11, Utah, goes to L.A.
You know what? UCLA has cost me a fortune. I need to get it back. This is a game that does not lay out nicely for them because Utah will kill them in the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
Utes.
Over UCLA.
I don't think that team's very good. I've watched a ton of it, and it's just – I don't want to say luck because you don't win 5 games by luck.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, this is a team that should have lost to South Alabama at home. Your own fans don't show up to watch this. The only game you've won that means squirt is Washington. Utah's undervalued.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to be with you on Utah for this one. I like DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, but I don't think he can get it done by himself. Taking Utah as well. North Carolina, Miami. Tyler Van Dyke, does he play? Does he start?
Yes.
Does he finish?
Yes.
Does Miami win?
Yes.
Really? I'm taking the Tar Heels.
I don't like this line. It's a bizarre line to me. There are just certain times as a gambler, I sit back and go, okay, you can be on one side. You can be on the other. I understand being on both. What I don't understand is splitting the baby down the middle. If you don't believe in Miami, that's fine. Then you think Carolina's going to win this game outright.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand where the line sits. I think it's a close game. I think it's a high-scoring game. 66 is not enough. I'm going aggressively over. I just have a weird feeling that this is one of those games you look at and go, these teams are very even.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina's getting too much love based on beating a Virginia Tech team. That is horrible. It's hard to win on the road. I'm going to say Miami wins this game. But I have a take on that line.
All right. I'm sure you'll hear that coming up in the next segment. BYU Notre Dame in Las Vegas.
I don't buy Notre Dame. I don't see how you're supposed to beat a team that's as physical as BYU when you don't score well. You don't other than Michael Mayer. And yes, I call him Michael Mayer, not Michael Mayer. Mainly because it's funny to me. He's a phenomenal tight end. That's the only offensive weapon they have.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a second pitch. And I'm not saying BYU can shut him down. I don't think anybody can shut him down. But I don't know that he can do enough to beat you by himself. I'm going BYU.
I'm on BYU as well. I don't buy Notre Dame. The only team that they've been able to score on
was Carolina. And Carolina they are the village bicycle. Everybody gets a turn.
That's right.
Good gravy, that defense is terrible.
That's right. If Carolina could stay ahead in a game, then they got a chance to win.
I will say so, and I'm in a group where people will put out their betting slips. Somebody took Carolina and the under, and I went, now how is that going to happen? Because the only way Carolina's going to win is if they score every single time they touch the ball.
Absolutely.
Just one of those anomaly things of you should ask people before you put dollars on things. Because that doesn't make a lick of sense.
Yep, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Then the Nat Capper in Raleigh, NC State, number 14 team in the country, takes on the Florida State Seminoles. Jeremy, you're already on the NC State Wolfpack because this is a game that you don't win, right?
I don't think Florida State has the guys. I mean, offensively, yes, they're doing nice things. I've been very happily impressed by what Mike Norvell's been able to do with the offense. The problem is the defense can't stop the run at all. I mean, it's pitiful. 3rd and 3, teams running right up the gut. That is a very clear announcement that we do not respect you defensively.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see any reason that NC State can't do the same thing. And this is a win they really need.
Yeah, they absolutely
You can't
need it.
lose 2 games in a row.
No. And NC State still hoping to be able to compete for the championship of the Atlantic Division. They're going to need Clemson to stumble, obviously, for that to happen.
Could happen.
But you gotta win all the rest of them. You weren't able to beat Clemson. That was your Wolfpack moment. Now it's time to come back to the winning ways against the Florida State Seminoles. I am with you on the NC State Wolfpack to win that matchup in Raleigh. Coming up next, Jeremy's going to have all the bangers for your weekend.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Westbound 26 at a near standstill between Asheville Highway and Long Shoals. We're also heavy on I-40 westbound between Patton Cove Road and Porter Cove Road. Westbound delays between George's Branch Road and Newfound Road. Southbound US 19 slow between 240 and US 19 Business. I'm Jack Wiley with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. Charging a cell phone can be like getting a booster shot. A booster is given to enhance or restore protection after a primary series vaccination, which wanes over time. Schedule an appointment when you are eligible. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Have you ever felt depressed about work, only to have your dad be like, "Why are you so down?" So you told him you hate your job, and he said, "Well, you better talk yourself out of it." And then you thought, I love to talk. I could host a podcast. And then you went to Spreaker from iHeart and started a podcast and got good at it, then monetized it, then quit your boring job, then told your dad, "Thanks for the advice." And he was like, "Well, that's not what I meant, and I don't understand what a podcast is, but you seem happy, so that's great, kiddo." You ever do that? Well, you could. At Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker. Ask your dad. You actually don't.
Today on Hey Culligan, soft water, cleaner environment. What do you say, Greg?
Hey Culligan, are you saying if I have a Culligan high-efficiency water softener, I'm also helping the environment?
It sounds like you're saying it, Greg, and yes, you are, because with the Culligan high-efficiency water softener, you'll use less detergent, soap, and harsh chemicals, and that's good for the planet.
Now you're saying it.
You bet I am, Greg. Soft water and a cleaner environment is already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Hi, I'm Chad Greenway. After retiring from the NFL, I've embraced my new role coaching my kids in their youth sports. Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to train, screen, and educate all of our basketball coaches. Visit trustedcoaches.org to learn more. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Coffee store closes on. Get them the money.
Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
If you saw the first segment, if you've been a part of this show, you got to be saying, but that's not what you do. This is one of the worst weeks I've ever seen for my favorite thing. But that doesn't change the fact that I've got all you could possibly. BYU's a 3.5-point dog in Las Vegas, Nevada against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Let's be real honest. Drew Pine looks like he could be my child, and that does not scare me with that BYU defense. I know it's not at BYU. I know they're different on the road. I feel like BYU's going to travel well here. Give me the Cougs plus 3.5. Next, Iowa's a 3.5-point dog at Illinois under. Vegas is begging me to take the over. It's 33.5. I'm catching 3 in the hook. This game might end, actually, honest to God, 5-2. Give me Iowa plus 3.5. North Carolina's a 3.5-point dog at Miami. I told you I think Miami wins this game, but I think it's close. Miami has one of the best kickers in the country. I could easily see this being tied late. He hits a banger late to win this game. Miami wins. Carolina covers. The Fighting Mike Houstons of East Carolina are a 3.5-point dog, and I love them. They're going to win outright against Tulane. I don't care that this game's at Tulane. They're being overvalued because they have a good win. They're still not good. East Carolina's better. Pirates plus 3.5. The Kansas Jayhawks are a 6.5-point dog at home against TCU, and that's stupid. They're my first big dog. Let the big dog eat. 7-0 against the spread. 5 outright winners. I'm giving you 2 of them. I got Kansas and Hog Pig Suey. Arkansas is a 9-point dog at Mississippi State. This is a bad line for Vegas. They're stuck because colleges don't have to tell you who's going to play and who's not going to play. If KJ Jefferson plays, they'll win this game outright. They'll cover with the backups. Hog Pig Suey. Let's go, Arkansas.
Take those wagers over to BetUs.com. Use the promo code Sportsocracy and get a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put in up to $2,500. How about?
But that's not enough bangers. All you gotta have, $5 US. Take it to BetUs.com. This is a 6-way money line parlay. You're gonna tell me I'm out of my mind. I'm going Bengals in the money line. New York Jets, Jets. It's a dart throw. Got to have some money line dogs to make all the money. I picked Miami. Would I be shocked if the Jets won this game? No, I would not. 4 in college, Arkansas, Kansas, BYU, and Iowa. All outright money line winners. Your $5 becomes $2,269.96. Good Lord, that's a lot of money.
Wow.
BetUs.com, promo code Sportsocracy, 6 bangers. If you don't like that Jets pick, that's fine. Throw East Carolina in there. It's the same money line number. It's the same money line number.
Same return on the investment.
If you get real aggressive and you go all 6 of those at East Carolina, that right there will pay you about $5,000 on your $5 investment.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Have a great weekend, everybody. Join us on the YouTube channel on Sunday morning, 8:30.
Sunday's going to be wild. Sunday's going to be wild. Armchair and I for the first hour. Tank will come in about an hour later. I might be drinking domestic lights through the entire thing. All your fantasy football questions. Let's go!
We got high school football coming up this evening right here on ESPN Asheville. We are out of here. See you on Monday.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Dry cold front on its way in. Drop the numbers for the weekend. We've got some clouds tonight, but I don't think we'll see much in the way of precip chances here as the front clears us. 45 our low in the valley. Then sunny, breezy, cooler, lower humidity for Saturday and Sunday. High temps in the low 60s. Nighttime lows in the 30s. Saturday night, Sunday night, I think we'll be just above freezing in the valley, but below freezing with elevation. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Westbound 26 had a near standstill between Asheville Highway and Long Shoals. We're also heavy on I-40 westbound between Patton Cove Road and Porter Cove Road. Westbound delays between George's Branch Road and Newfound Road. Southbound US 19 slow between 240 and US 19 Business. I'm Jack Wiley with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Your burrito prayers have been answered. Taco Bell's double steak grilled cheese burrito is back with that juicy steak smothered in nacho cheese with a 3-cheese blend that's grilled on top. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores for a limited time only. Hours and participation vary. Double the steak claim as compared to the steak quesadilla.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag.